The episode opens with Go Rim, a successful woman who works as the CEO of a huge company. It's Monday morning, and the moment she walks into her office, her hectic schedule begins. Right then, a new intern walks up to her, gives her a ring, and proposes to her. When Rim asks him for his name, the intern says, Noryangjin. She freezes for a moment, because Noryangjin is the name of a train station. And suddenly, Rim wakes up. She's actually on a bus, and yes, she needs to get off at Noryangjin station. This is where we learn that in reality, Rim is a 30-year-old student who has been preparing for the civil services exam for 5 years. She attends classes at an institute, where her teacher mocks her in front of everyone, saying, "Look at Go Rim. She's been preparing for 5 years and still hasn't gotten a job. So learn from her, work harder. Otherwise you'll all become Noryangjin zombies like her." Rim feels extremely insulted. She walks up to the teacher, ready to confront him, but instead, he hands her free lecture vouchers. And that instantly melts her anger. She walks away satisfied, thinking how expensive the lectures are, and how she might have to work endless part-time shifts to afford them. So taking the insult in exchange for free vouchers felt like a fair deal to her. After that, Rim heads to her part-time job at a supermarket. Her friend asks her why she didn't stand up to the teacher. Rim simply says, "He gave me free vouchers." And she knows she doesn't earn enough at the supermarket to pay for her classes, so she had no choice. Later, she returns home. And in just a few days, her younger sister Daejeong is getting married. Rim is genuinely excited. But there's a problem. Rim has no job. She didn't graduate from a prestigious university. And because Daejeong doesn't want to feel embarrassed in front of her future in-laws, she has lied to them, telling everyone that Rim works in the US. To keep that lie from falling apart, Daejeong doesn't want Rim at the wedding at all. So she gives Rim some cash and a free 4-day stay voucher for Jeju Island. She says Rim can go on a vacation during the wedding so that nobody asks questions. This deeply hurts Rim. Her own little sister is ashamed of her. But for the sake of her family, Rim agrees to go to Jeju Island. Later, Rim overhears Daejeong arguing with their mom. Her mom says she shouldn't treat her older sister this way. But Daejeong argues back saying, "She's so old and still can't earn anything. She can't even bring a proper wedding gift." Meanwhile, we are introduced to Ji Hyuk, who works in the startup industry. He's in a meeting with some of the world's top investors. He successfully closes a deal and even makes it 10 times more profitable. The investors have only one request: hire Korea's famous developer, Kim Jong, for the startup program. Ji Hyuk becomes excited about the opportunity. His friend Jaeyoung-min arrives, and the two head out to celebrate at a party. Jaeyoung-min introduces him to a few girls, but Ji Hyuk shows zero interest. Jaeyoung-min asks him, "Dude, have you ever even been in love? Have you ever kissed someone who completely changed your mind?" Ji Hyuk replies, "I don't believe in love. I've never met a girl who could blast my mind like Dynamite. And honestly, I love myself too much to fall for someone else. I'm the godfather of startup plans." The next day, Ji Hyuk starts researching developer Kim Jong. He even makes Jaeyoung-min dig up Kim Jong's entire school and college history. Then they discover something important. Kim Jong is going on vacation to Jeju Island. This gives Ji Hyuk the perfect chance to meet him and secure the deal. He immediately decides to go there too. At the same time, Chairman Yu's daughter, Ha Young, visits Ji Hyuk. She brings good news. Their parents have decided to arrange a marriage between the two of them to strengthen their business alliance. But Ji Hyuk hates the idea. He says their vibes don't match, he can't see a future with her, and he sends her away. Back to Rim. She visits her tenant Kim Seon's home with some dishes. Kim Seon lives with his son, June, and they're good friends with Rim. They talk about her breakup from 5 years ago, with none other than Kim Jong. He dumped Rim because he felt embarrassed dating an unemployed woman. The breakup was so painful that she lost all hope of finding a good guy ever again. Eventually, Rim leaves for Jeju Island. But the moment she arrives, she gets terrible news. Kim Jong is also vacationing there. Her old memories rush back, reminding her how he broke up with her because she had no job. Ji Hyuk also arrives on Jeju Island around the same time. Both of them begin exploring the island from their own perspectives. Rim doesn't have much money, so she can't eat at nice restaurants or enjoy fancy activities. She's also alone with no partner to share experiences with. Then she runs into an old classmate, Soo-jin. Soo-jin recognizes her immediately and tells her she's here with her boyfriend. And when she introduces her boyfriend, Darim is shocked. Because Sujin's boyfriend is Kim Jong. He looks at Darim with insulting, judgmental eyes. Feeling humiliated, Darim lies back, saying she also came with her boyfriend. He's just busy with something today. Darim leaves quickly after that and ends up drinking heavily because she's so upset. Drunk, she goes near the ocean and begins remembering her past. Her dad's death. Being left completely alone. Being rejected from job interviews over and over. And how she once came close to ending her life, but somehow found the strength to keep going. She's lost in her emotions when she suddenly sees Ji Hyuk standing up on the mountain, shouting toward the ocean. To Darim, it looks like he's about to jump. Panicking, she runs toward him and grabs him from behind, trying to stop him. Ji Hyuk is completely confused. He was just yelling to motivate himself. But Darim says, "I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a dad. I don't have money. And I'm still alive. So don't do something like this." In the middle of that chaotic misunderstanding, they both lose balance, fall down, and Ji Hyuk injures his hand. Ji Hyuk and Go Darim are immediately taken to the hospital because of the fall. Darim is completely unconscious. She was drunk, exhausted, and emotionally overwhelmed. Ji Hyuk has a small injury on his hand, and after a quick checkup, he gets up to leave. Before walking out, he tells the nurse casually, "Just put both of our bills on her account. Go Darim will pay for everything." Then he disappears. A little later, Darim wakes up, only to find a giant medical bill waiting for her. More than half the money she had saved for her trip is gone, spent on hospital charges she didn't even remember. With no money left for a taxi, Darim is forced to walk all the way back to her hotel. Coincidentally, Ji Hyuk is staying in the same hotel. And the next morning he is supposed to meet Kim Jong for breakfast. The following day, Darim goes downstairs to the dining area because the hotel offers free breakfast. But the moment she sees Ji Hyuk sitting there peacefully, she walks straight toward him to demand her money back. She starts fighting with him, right there in the breakfast hall. But suddenly, Ji Hyuk sees Kim Jong standing right behind him. Next to him is Sujin, who calls out loudly, "Darim? You're here?" Panicking, Darim instantly grabs Ji Hyuk's hand and blurts out, "He's my boyfriend." Ji Hyuk catches on immediately. If Darim knows Sujin, she obviously knows Kim Jong too. So he plays along and acts like her boyfriend, smiling, confident, acting romantic. He then invites Kim Jong to join them for breakfast. And throughout the meal, Ji Hyuk behaves adorably sweet toward Darim, complimenting her, leaning close to her, acting like the perfect boyfriend. He even invites Kim Jong to a VIP party that night. When breakfast ends, Darim and Ji Hyuk head toward the elevators. Darim presses the button for the 5th floor, where her room is. But Sujin notices and immediately gets suspicious. Why are they staying on different floors if they're a couple? Before she can question further, Ji Hyuk smoothly lies. "Oh, the 5th floor? That's where my apartment is. Darim probably pressed it by mistake." Sujin believes him. They all go to the 7th floor, where Ji Hyuk's room is. But Kim Jong's room is also on that floor. So Darim has no choice but to walk into Ji Hyuk's room with him. Inside, she bursts out, "Why are you acting like this? I only used your name in an emergency." And in that moment, Ji Hyuk realizes something important. Kim Jong must be Darim's ex-boyfriend. Since her emotions were so intense, the pieces fit perfectly. Ji Hyuk immediately makes her an offer. "For one day, you just have to pretend to be my girlfriend. Come with me to the party. I need to talk business with Kim Jong and close the deal. And in return, I'll pay you not double, but triple the hospital bill." Darim thinks about her revenge. Facing Kim Jong again with confidence could finally bring her some closure. So she agrees. After that, the two of them go shopping for a party dress. But when Darim sees the price tags, she drags Ji Hyuk out of the store. "It's only one night. I can't wear something that expensive. It's a waste of money." Ji Hyuk looks her up and down and says, "You're going as my girlfriend. You can't show up looking this messy. You need to look your best." The comment hurts her. It sounded exactly like something Kim Jong once said to her. So she tells Ji Hyuk to apologize. But he refuses. Right then, Darim sees a woman crossing the road with her young son. Her bag tears open, and all her oranges roll onto the street. Darim immediately runs to help her gather them. She even makes Ji Hyuk get down on the road to help too. The lady appreciates them warmly. Watching Darim kneel in the dust without hesitation, Ji Hyuk thinks, "She's actually not bad. Pretty too." For the first time, he feels a soft warmth in his chest. And he tells her, I'm sorry. He explains that he only said those harsh things because he didn't want her to look small or insecure in front of her ex. He wanted her to walk in looking like the most confident woman in the room. Hearing this, Darim agrees to choose a dress. Jaeok arranges her makeover, hair, makeup, everything. He also gets ready in his suit. Darim makes her entrance. She looks stunning, elegant, completely transformed. Jaeok can't take his eyes off her, but he hides it with a playful comment. I guess I've turned you into Cinderella for tonight. He even slips a ring onto her finger and runs her through the girlfriend notes she needs to memorize. Soon after, they arrive at the VIP party. The first people they meet are Soo-jin and Kim Jong. Kim Jong is visibly shocked seeing Darim's transformation. A sting of jealousy hits him instantly. Meanwhile, Ji Hyuk begins explaining his startup program to him. Just like mixing two chemicals triggers a reaction that creates dynamite, when I bring investors and developers together, I create explosive companies. My work is going to be worth trillions. Kim Jong is impressed. Ji Hyuk is handling everything perfectly, but Darim begins to feel overwhelmed and nervous. She steps outside to catch her breath. Kim Jong follows her. He asks coldly, "So, how much did Ji Hyuk offer you? How much money are you getting to pretend to be his girlfriend? If you need more, I can pay you more." He tells her that Ji Hyuk is only using her. Darim snaps. Ji Hyuk is my boyfriend, and you have no right to say anything about him. They return inside, but the interrogation continues. Kim Jong asks Ji, "So, have you met her parents? Do you know her family well?" Darim freezes. Ji Hyuk doesn't know anything about her dad's passing. But without hesitation, Ji Hyuk answers, "Yes, I met her mother, and I've only seen her father in photos because he passed away." He remembered that detail from the night Darim saved him on the mountain. But then Kim Jong starts asking about her siblings. Panicking, Darim fakes feeling sick and drags Ji Hyuk away. She's terrified. If they go back inside, their entire act will be exposed. So Ji Hyuk quickly whispers a new plan. "We'll leave for now. Tomorrow we'll meet him again, after we memorize everything about each other." But before they can leave, Kim Jong comes searching for them. Darim gets so scared, she suddenly grabs Ji Hyuk and kisses him, just to shut down Kim Jong's questions. Kim Jong walks away awkwardly. Darim instantly apologizes. "I'm sorry, it was an emergency. I had no choice." But Ji Hyuk stands frozen. Her kiss hit him like a shockwave. His heartbeat changes. For the first time in his life, something is happening inside him. Something warm, powerful, explosive. He looks at her and whispers, "Do it again." And before Darim can react, they kiss again. A longer, deeper kiss. Because deep inside Ji Hyuk's heart, a dynamite reaction has finally gone off. For the first time ever, Ji Hyuk feels love. Right after the kiss. When Darim and Ji Hyuk step back inside, both of them are slightly shaking. Seeing this, Soo-jin starts teasing them. "Wow, did you two use up all your energy in that kiss?" Before Darim can respond, the music suddenly changes, and Soo-jin and Kim Jong head straight to the dance floor. They invite Darim and Ji Hyuk to join them too. After all, everyone saw them as the hot couple of the night. At first, Darim feels a little nervous. But when Ji Hyuk gently tells her to relax and just follow his steps, her confidence grows. Soon, the two of them are dancing beautifully, moving closer and closer to each other with every beat. After a while, Darim steps outside to get some air. Kim Jong follows her. This time he looks frustrated. He grabs her wrist and tells her he's willing to pay double, and that he can book a private hotel room for just the two of them so they can spend time together. Hearing this, Darim becomes furious. She cannot believe how cheap and disgusting he's being. She tries to walk away, but Kim Jong pulls her back and tries to force himself on her. Right then, Ji Hyuk arrives. Without hesitation, he punches Kim Jong. Kim Jong warns him that if he touches him again, he'll cancel their business deal. But Ji Hyuk shoots back. "I don't want any deal with a pathetic man like you." He grabs Darim's hand and the two leave the party together. Down at the beach, Darim notices that Ji Hyuk's hand is injured again, so she quietly wraps her handkerchief around it. She apologizes, saying that instead of helping him, she made things worse. But Ji Hyuk tells her she did nothing wrong. If he had made a deal with someone like Kim Jong, he would have suffered losses anyway. And honestly, canceling the deal early was actually the best outcome. As they're talking, Darim suddenly notices glowing lights in the water. Fascinated, She steps into the ocean, splashing around like a child. Seeing her enjoy herself so freely makes Ji-hyuk smile. After a moment, he tells her the truth. He didn't kiss her because of the fake deal situation. He kissed her for personal reasons, his own feelings. That's why he wants her to keep pretending to be his girlfriend tomorrow as well, and he asks her out on a real date. Drim says yes. They both return to their own rooms, excited and nervous about tomorrow's date. Ji-hyuk immediately calls Jae-young-min and tells him everything. That he canceled the deal, and that he's going on a date tomorrow. The next day, we see Ji-hyuk's father, Mr. Gong. He's the owner of a massive baby products company. Ji-hyuk also has a sister, Ji-hye, who works with their father and helps him grow the business. Mr. Gong brings up the topic of Ji-hyuk and Ha-young's marriage again. He insists that such a marriage would expand their company even further. We then return to Darim and Ji-hyuk, who are now on their date, and they're enjoying every second. They go to a farm, have lunch together, take a long walk through fields of flowers, and end their stroll in a beautiful park. There, Darim opens up. She tells him how happy she feels today. She came to Jeju because she was overwhelmed with family problems, but now everything feels lighter. She spots a huge grandfather tree in the park and tells Ji-hyuk that she has one near her home too, with an ice cream shop next to it. Whenever she felt sad or stressed, she would sit under that tree and eat ice cream. She still does that today. Then she finds a tiny clover plant. She plucks a 4-leaf clover and gives it to him, saying, "I think I found my luck today, and I want you to have some luck too." Ji-hyuk places the clover inside his phone case, smiling softly. After that, they go boating on the ocean. Darim asks if canceling the deal might get him fired. Ji-hyuk laughs and finally tells her the truth. He's the boss. It's his company, and that's why he has a black card. While they're watching dolphins, Ji-hyuk takes her hand and guides her toward the upper deck. But suddenly, the boat shakes because of the waves, and Darim falls straight into the water. She can't swim. Ji-hyuk immediately jumps in and rescues her. Once they're back on the deck, Darim finally confesses her true feelings. She likes him. She really likes him. Ji-hyuk pulls her close and kisses her again. Later, the two of them return to their hotel room. They're about to grow even closer, but Darim tells him to shower first since they've been outside all day. Ji-hyuk laughs and heads to the bathroom. Meanwhile, somewhere else, today is Dae-jeong's wedding day. But her fiancé has secretly taken a huge loan from loan sharks and lost all the money in cryptocurrency. The loan sharks show up at the wedding. Panicking, Dae-jeong and her fiancé run away, leaving their own wedding behind. Dae-jeong's mom searches everywhere for them. Instead, the loan sharks corner her. They warn her that if she doesn't return the money, something terrible will happen. After the chaos at the wedding, Kim Se-in takes Dae-jeong's mother back home, trying to calm her down. Meanwhile, Go-darim's mom receives a message from Dae-jeong, and the message completely shocks her. Dae-jeong had given their house papers, and even her mother's savings, to her fiancé, hoping he'd pay off his loan sharks. But he lost all that money too, which means their house was now in danger. The moment Go-darim's mom reads the message, she gets so stressed that she suddenly collapses from a heart attack. Kim Se-in rushes her to the hospital and gets her admitted immediately. On the other side, Go-darim is waiting in the hotel room for Ji-hyuk to return. But then her phone rings. It's Kim Se-in. And as soon as she hears that her mother had a heart attack, she panics. She grabs all her things, leaves instantly, and rushes out without even getting a chance to explain anything to Ji-hyuk. Ji-hyuk comes back looking for her, realizes she's gone, and follows her all the way to the airport. He searches for her everywhere. But Go-darim leaves for Seoul right from under his nose, and he misses her completely. Feeling helpless, Ji-hyuk also returns to Seoul. On the way, he spots a grandfather tree and stops, remembering her words. But it wasn't her grandfather tree, so he feels even more frustrated, because he genuinely missed her. Meanwhile in Seoul, Go-darim reaches the hospital and finally sees her mom. Her condition breaks her heart. But what upsets her even more is the huge hospital bill. The surgery alone cost more than all their savings. So she goes home, checks her mom's diary, and makes up her mind. From now on, she'll do any job she can find to pay the bills. She misses Ji-hyuk too, especially because she had left without saying goodbye. From that day forward, she starts doing multiple jobs: cleaning, waitressing, even food delivery. She works extremely hard, but still, the amount isn't enough to cover their bills. So she ends up taking a bank loan just to keep her mom's treatment going. At the same time, Ha-young is searching for talented photographers for her art gallery. That's when she comes across Kim Seon's portfolio. One photo especially catches her attention. A picture of his late wife, captured so beautifully that her eyes seemed filled with love. Impressed, Ha-young asks her team to find Kim Seon's contact details immediately. Back to Ye. He makes a long list of every grandfather tree in the area and starts checking them one by one, trying to find the one Go-to-rim talked about. Eventually, he finds the right one, near her neighborhood. He waits there the entire day, hoping she'll return home. But she never shows up. Disappointed, he finally goes back. Jaeyoung-min comforts him and assures him they'll find her soon. But there's one problem: Jaeyoung-min doesn't know Go-to-rim's face. So when Go-to-rim herself arrives at their house as a food delivery worker, Jaeyoung-min takes the parcel at the door. And Ji-hyuk and Go-to-rim miss each other again. The next day, Mr. Gong temporarily brings Ji-hyuk's mother out of the psychiatric hospital just for a family interview. He wants to present a perfect family image to the media. But during the interview, Ji-hyuk's mom gets overwhelmed and her condition worsens. Ji-hyuk rushes in, protects her, and gets furious at his father for using her like a tool just to protect the company's image. He confronts his father and says he'll accept every condition his father has, in exchange for only one thing. His mom must be allowed to divorce Mr. Gong. Mr. Gong agrees, but on one condition. Ji-hyuk must leave his startup, join the family's baby product company, and marry Chairman Yu's daughter. Ji-hyuk hates it, but for his mom's safety he says yes. Mr. Gong is thrilled, because he only wanted Ji-hyuk's smart mind in the company anyway. But one person becomes deeply upset: Ji-hy, his sister. Because she had done everything for the company, and yet the top position was handed to Ji-hyuk. Later, Ji-hy returns to work and finds a woman named Nan-suk arguing with her manager. Nan-suk had a bad record, always late, frequently changing jobs, but Ji-hy still hires her. Not because she believes in her, but because she wants Ji-hyuk to struggle with irresponsible employees once he joins the company. Soon, the manager spreads the news everywhere. The company is offering job opportunities to new moms, even without qualifications or experience. And eventually, that news reaches Go-to-rim, who is still desperately searching for work. Her mother wakes up and Go-to-rim promises her she'll find a job soon. But to apply for this one, she'd have to lie about being a mom. She doesn't want to lie, especially not using her father's name again. She struggles the whole night thinking about it. Then she hears Jun and Kim Seon upstairs. She apologizes to her dad in her heart, because she decides to lie once more. She'll pretend Jun is her son. The next day, her resume, along with all the other moms' resumes, reaches Ji-hy. She shares them with Ji-hyuk and tells him she's forming a special task force team for him, a team that will handle product marketing. Ji-hyuk agrees, because he honestly has no interest in the company and will take any position that helps him stay away from his father. He looks through all the resumes. But when Go-to-rim's file is about to be shown, he gets up and leaves. The following day, all the applicants are called for the interview. Ji-hy, the manager, and Ji-hyuk himself are conducting it, with Go-to-rim standing outside the interview room, trembling with nerves. She's scared, anxious, and unsure of herself. But then she thinks of her mother, and remembers why she's doing all of this. For her family, for their survival. That thought gives her strength, and she finally gathers the courage to walk inside. But Ji-hyuk doesn't see her enter. He had slipped out earlier, pretending he needed the washroom, and he still hadn't checked the resume list to notice that Go-to-rim was next. Inside, her interview goes terribly. Every answer feels wrong, her voice shakes, and nothing comes out the way she practiced. But the truth is, Ji-hy had already decided. She wanted Go-to-rim on the team. So despite the bad interview, she shortlists her. Meanwhile, Ha-young comes to meet Ji-hyuk. She's happy, almost glowing, because Ji-hyuk has joined the company, and because the two of them are about to get married. But Ji-hyuk doesn't let her speak for long. He tells her directly that even if he marries her, he can never love her. He has no feelings for her. None. Ha-young forces a smile and tells him that once they live together, feelings will grow naturally. After all, Ji-hyuk has never cared for anyone before. But the moment she says that, Go-to-rim flashes through his mind. Somewhere else, Go-to-rim is sitting under the grandfather tree, waiting desperately for a call from the company. Her heart keeps sinking at the thought that she might not get selected. Kim Seon walks over from his studio and finds her sitting there. He joins her and tries to cheer her up. He reminds her that back in school, When seniors used to bully him, she was the only one who stood up for him. That's why she has always been his closest friend. He tells her to come home with him so he can cook something special for her. But right then her phone starts ringing. She had been selected. Go Do-rim lights up with joy, and Kim Se-in celebrates with her. The next morning, she gets ready for her new job and visits her mother at the hospital first. Her mother tells her one thing: work with honesty, always. Do-rim promises she will. At the office, she meets her co-workers. They're all real moms, talking like moms, acting like moms, while Do-rim is the only one pretending to be one. Soon, they're taken to meet their team leader, Jae-hyuk. He's meeting the new team for the first time. And the moment he spots Go Do-rim, and she spots him, both freeze in complete shock. They sit down for their first meeting, and Jae-hyuk asks everyone how many kids they have. Each woman answers in turn. And then Go Do-rim says she has one son, 6 years old. Jae-hyuk bursts out laughing. He can't believe it, not even for a second. Embarrassed, Go Do-rim gets up and walks out of the room. But right outside the elevator, Jae-hyuk catches her and pulls her to the terrace. There, she lies again. She tells him her husband is the same age as her. She says they fought on Jeju Island, which is why she ended up getting so close to Jae-hyuk. And when she regretted it, she ran away. Jae-hyuk listens, but he still doesn't believe her at all. Somewhere else, Ha-young is preparing a public exhibition to impress her father. But he only cares about her marriage and the family business. He dismisses her effort, insults her, and walks away, saying she shouldn't waste time on charity events. Back at the office, Go Do-rim is taking pictures with her teammates for their first day memory. Jae-hyuk arrives, and when they invite him to join the photo, he gives them a warning instead. He tells them he has seen all their resumes and knows exactly how they were selected. So all he wants now is that they do whatever they want to do, as long as they don't get in his way. Meanwhile, Ha-young learns that Kim Se-in refused to meet her and rejected her offer. So she goes to him personally. He's photographing a child, doing his work with so much charm and playfulness that Ha-young instantly gets impressed. She approaches him, shows him the same photo again, and tells him she thought the girl in the picture might be his girlfriend. She wants him and his girlfriend to attend her exhibition and work with her company. But when Kim Se-in looks at the photo, he rejects her offer once again. Ha-young leaves, giving him her card. Later that evening, when Go Do-rim is leaving the office, Jae-hyuk stops her again. He says he still wants a proper explanation and that everyone is having problems with her being in the company. So he wants her resignation letter on his desk tomorrow. Do-rim pleads with him not to fire her, but Jae-hyuk doesn't listen. He tells her how worried he had been when she disappeared on Jeju, how he looked for her everywhere, and how she betrayed him by leaving without a word. Because of that, she goes home and starts signing the resignation letter. But then she remembers her mother's words about working with honesty and not giving up. So she decides one thing. No matter what happens, she will convince Jae-hyuk. She will keep this job. The next day, she goes straight to Jae-hyuk. Her first plan was simple. Impress him, win him over a little, and maybe he'd stop blaming her for that kiss. Maybe he'd see it as a mistake they both made and finally let it go. But her cute and sweet act fails miserably. So she switches to her second plan. This time, she storms toward him with full confidence and snaps, telling him exactly how badly she needs this job. She says she's not going to lose it so easily, and if she has to do anything at all to keep it, she will. Hearing this, Jae-hyuk goes speechless for a moment. He realizes Go Do-rim is playing a game with him, so he decides to make staying in the company even harder for her. The next day during a department meeting, he learns that the team wants to run a test on their milk bottles. They need to check whether the bottles shrink when placed in boiling water for several days. But no labs are available and no other team is free to take on the project. That's when Jae-hyuk gets an idea. He volunteers to handle it, because he already knows exactly who he's going to send for the test, Go Do-rim. The test forces Do-rim to stay outdoors, in an open field, inside a tent for 5 straight days, without proper sleep. When she hears the rules, she immediately tells Jae-hyuk she can't do it. She won't survive 5 days without sleep. But Jae-hyuk reminds her of her own words. She was the one who said she'd do anything to keep her job. So now she has to prove it. Left with no choice, Do-rim agrees. She's frustrated and snaps that he's torturing her over one tiny kiss. A kiss that was literally like a ping-pong tap, nothing serious. Ji-hyuk steps closer, looks right at her, and says that if it was really just a tiny ping-pong kiss to her, then they could always kiss again. Darim instantly backs away and refuses. She says she'll just do her job properly. Ji-hyuk turns around and leaves, fuming. To him, that kiss wasn't a silly ping-pong tap, it was a dynamite kiss. But clearly, to her it meant nothing. Meanwhile, Darim toughens up and prepares to stay awake. She takes the test seriously and keeps working non-stop. Ji-hy's manager also watches her from a distance, keeping an eye on the test. At the same time, Ji-hyuk thinks to himself that if he checks on her at night, she'll definitely be asleep, and then he can fire her for breaking the rules. But when he arrives at the campsite that night, he sees the tent on fire. Panicked, he rushes forward, trying to beat the fire down with his jacket. He's about to step inside to rescue her when Darim suddenly appears from behind with a fire extinguisher and puts the flames out herself. Seeing she's safe, Ji-hyuk immediately pulls her into a hug. But just a moment later he realizes something. Darim wasn't inside the tent when the fire started. So he blames her for being careless and tells her she should take responsibility by resigning. But Darim refuses. She reminds him that she worked painfully hard for days, staying awake through the entire test. She's not going to quit. Ji-hyuk, still upset, turns to leave. That's when Darim notices his phone on the ground and picks it up for him. She also sees the same little clover charm inside the phone case. Right in front of her, Ji-hyuk pulls the charm out and throws it away. He's that upset. The next day, he doesn't go to work at all. Instead, he spends the day with his mom, trying to cool down. And back at the office, Darim learns from her teammates that Ji-hyuk is actually the chairman's son, and he joined the company because he'll be taking over the business next. We also find out that the fire at the campsite was started by Ji-hy's manager, because Ji-hy didn't want Ji-hyuk's team to finish their tasks successfully. Later, Darim goes grocery shopping with Kim Seon and tells him how badly her boss is torturing her just to make her quit. Kim Seon tells her she shouldn't complain, she should work even harder. If the company sees profit because of her, they'll never fire her. While they're talking, one of Darim's colleagues spots her. To avoid getting caught, Darim quickly lies and says Kim Seon is her husband. Once the colleague leaves, she begs Kim Seon outside to pretend to be her husband for 6 months, just until she becomes a permanent employee. After that, she'll tell everyone they're divorced and clear things up. Kim Seon reluctantly agrees. The next day, when Darim arrives at work, she finds her teammates sitting gloomily. When she asks what's wrong, they tell her there are rumors everywhere that their team was hired only for show, just to make Ji-hyuk's performance look better. And after 6 months, they'll all be fired anyway. Darim feels really bad after hearing this, but she remembers Kim Seon's words. So she tells her teammates the same thing. They have to work hard, prove themselves, and become valuable enough to stay permanently. Her confidence motivates them, and the whole team throws themselves into their tasks. Even Jae-young-min joins in to help, and by the end of the day they prepare a full research report. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk still hasn't shown up at work. He spends the day burning off his anger through intense cardio workouts. Since he won't come to the office, Darim is sent to deliver the report to his house. When she arrives, Ji-hyuk is swimming. She hands him the report, but he immediately takes a jab at her, saying she's talented at fooling people, which is probably how she ended up at his house too. His words sting, so Darim snaps back. She reminds him that she wasn't born into a rich family like he was. She doesn't have the luxury of living comfortably without a job. She works hard for herself and her family. Then she gets down on her knees and apologizes. But Ji-hyuk is still furious. He throws the entire report into the swimming pool and says if she cares so much about the team, she should jump in and save it. So Darim jumps. Even though she doesn't know how to swim, she desperately tries to save every piece of paper. And because she can't swim, she starts to drown. At the last second, Ji-hyuk dives in and rescues her once again. He's furious with her, demanding to know why she risked her life just to save a bunch of papers. Darim, still shivering, tells him that those papers, and her job, are her entire life. She just wanted him, as her team leader, to look at their report even once. After saying this, she turns around and walks away. A little later, on her way home, Ji Hyuk pulls up next to her and offers her a ride. Darim refuses, saying she'll just take the bus. But he drapes his jacket over her shoulders and makes her sit inside, reminding her that she's drenched and will fall sick. Then he asks her to give the presentation again, and listening to it, he realizes it's actually really good. By the time they reach her neighborhood, he even hands her his own presentation as a reference. Darim is about to go inside when some loan sharks show up, asking if she knows Go Darim and her family. They think Darim might be the tenant they're looking for. Darim quickly lies, saying Go Darim went on a long vacation. But right then, Ji Hyuk comes back, calling out her name because she forgot her phone in his car. The loan sharks immediately chase after her. Darim grabs Ji Hyuk's hand and runs. Kim Seon sees them running together and follows behind to help. Darim and Ji Hyuk hide inside a storage cupboard. Ji Hyuk pulls her into his arms so the loan shark boss won't spot her. Once the danger passes, Kim Seon opens the cupboard, and seeing Ji Hyuk, he immediately asks who he is. Ji Hyuk politely explains that he's Darim's boss. That's when Kim Seon suddenly remembers that he's supposed to pretend to be Darim's husband. So he says, with a straight face, that he is her husband. Hearing that, Ji Hyuk feels this unexpected sting in his chest. He even apologizes to Kim Seon for the misunderstanding. Now convinced that Darim is actually married, he steps aside as Kim Seon lifts Darim onto his back because she injured her foot. Ji Hyuk watches them quietly, and when he gets home, he can't stop thinking, if she's really married, and her husband loves her so much, then why didn't he come looking for her on Jeju Island? Even Jaeyoung-min notices something is off and teases him, saying Ji Hyuk must be feeling jealous. Meanwhile, Darim is stressed and helpless, wondering how she'll ever arrange 30 million won. Kim Seon suggests reporting the loan sharks to the police, but she immediately refuses. The next morning, Jaeyoung-min calls Ji Hyuk to come to the office. Ji Hyuk refuses, until he suddenly remembers he still needs to review Darim's report, so he gets ready and goes. When Darim hands him the report, she behaves like a normal single woman, not like a mom, and Ji Hyuk immediately scolds her, reminding her that she is Jun's mother and should act like one. He also tells her he still hasn't forgiven her, which means he still wants her resignation letter. Meanwhile, Kim Seon is worried about how Darim will gather the money. To help her, he decides to join Ha Young's company. Later, when Ji Hyuk presents his team's report in the meeting, everyone is impressed by the unique ideas and concepts. Ji Hyuk is proud too, because the success was all thanks to Darim. The task force team thanks one another for working hard together, and they complain a little about Ji Hyuk, saying he didn't help at all and only showed up on the day of the presentation. But Darim steps in and defends him, explaining how Ji Hyuk gave her his own reference report, which helped her present everything so well. Listening to her praise, Ji Hyuk quietly feels good. He tells the team that he helped this time, but next time he won't, so they better not disturb him again. In another part of the office, Ha Young is decorating her exhibition hall when she slips off a stool, but Kim Seon catches her in time. She asks for his photography details, and keeps staring at him so obviously that Kim Seon finally asks what she's looking at. Ha Young blushes and admits she can't look away because he's too handsome. Right then, Ha Young's mother, the company director, walks in and drags her out, threatening to cancel the entire exhibition because Ha Young hired a third-rate photographer instead of some famous artist. Kim Seon overhears everything. Feeling guilty, he tells Ha Young he shouldn't have come at all, because not only is he facing rejection, but her whole exhibition is now getting cancelled because of him. Meanwhile, Mr. Gong finds out how well Ji Hyuk's team performed and is impressed. But Ji Hy hates this. She complains to her father, claiming Ji Hyuk didn't do any work and doesn't even come to the office regularly. Because of her complaints, Mr. Gong calls Ji Hyuk into his office and warns him that if he doesn't work properly, he won't allow Ji Hyuk's mom to get a divorce. Ji Hyuk leaves angry, and at that moment, he gets a call from his mother. She's in the hospital. She fractured her foot. He rushes to meet her. And here, we finally see why he's so protective of his mom. When he was a child, his father suddenly brought home a little girl, Ji Hy, as his stepdaughter. Ji Hyuk's father had cheated on his mother with another woman, and ever since then, his mother's mental and emotional health had collapsed. She even tried to end her life, Since then, Ji-hyuk has been fiercely protective of her. And Ji-hy, she hates Ji-hyuk because she's the stepsister, and she wants her father to hand the company over to her one day. Ji-hyuk's still at the same hospital where his mother is admitted. Coincidentally, Go-darim's mother is admitted there too. So when Ji-hyuk is walking out, Go-darim spots him and immediately brings him in to meet her mom. Her mother smiles at him and says, "Darim works really hard, and she's a good girl, so please don't be too harsh on her. Help her when you can." Hearing that makes Ji-hyuk feel unexpectedly warm toward Darim. The two of them sit together and talk, and Darim finally explains the truth. The people chasing her were actually loan sharks. Her sister had taken a loan from them, and they came to collect. Because of the stress, her mom got shocked and had a heart attack. Everything she's been doing, every little effort, it's all just to protect her mother. All these years, Darim only felt safe because of her mom, and this time she wants her mom to feel safe too. Hearing this reminds Ji-hyuk of his own mother, and he quietly softens. He promises her that he won't fire her, and he'll help her team. Darim, a little embarrassed, quickly asks him if he'll ever bring up that kiss again. Ji-hyuk shakes his head and tells her he won't talk about it, because that kiss meant nothing to him anyway. Darim tries not to show it, but that stings a little. Still, her job is more important than her love life right now, so she lets it go. Meanwhile, Ha-young visits Kim Se-in to apologize, but he's busy. He has to pick June up from school, and a few of his customers show up at the same time. He gets stressed, unable to refuse them or leave, and Ha-young overhears everything. So she steps in and says she'll pick June up instead. Outside the school, June sits alone, feeling a little sad, watching other kids leave with their moms. Then Ha-young arrives to pick him up and tells him she's a friend of his dad. All the kids suddenly start admiring June, saying his dad's friend is so pretty and calling him lucky. June brightens up immediately. On their way back, Ha-young asks June if he's more like his mom or like his dad, because he's extremely cute. June tells her he must be like his dad, because he's never seen his mom. Hearing this, Ha-young realizes that Kim Se-in is a single father. The next day, Ji-hy learns from her manager that Ji-hyuk's team is performing surprisingly well. That annoys her, so she tells her manager to create some problems for them. She even has a good plan. Her manager goes straight to Ji-hyuk's team and assigns them an emergency live stream, where they must market products live. Ji-hyuk immediately refuses, because no one on his team has any camera experience. But all the moms get so excited that they say, yes, anyway, and start dividing tasks among themselves. Darim and Ji-hyuk are assigned to shop for props. They visit a kid's store, looking at baby shoes, and a worker comments on how good Darim's husband's taste is. Ji-hyuk is secretly pleased but quickly corrects her, saying they're just colleagues. Outside, Darim is carrying a bunch of heavy bags, so Ji-hyuk takes some from her. Then she spots a rare baby product that's sold out everywhere. To win it, she asks Ji-hyuk if they can pretend to be a married couple and join the event. Her innocent face makes it impossible for him to refuse. The first game is balancing on a newspaper. Ji-hyuk lifts Darim onto his shoulders and they make it to the final round, where they must pass paper using only their mouths. But when Darim leans in to pass the paper to him, it suddenly flies away, and the two of them end up kissing again. They lose the game, but Ji-hyuk's heart starts pounding loudly. It's another dynamite kiss. Embarrassed, he excuses himself and goes to the washroom. But instead of leaving, he approaches the couple who won that baby product and offers them a heavy amount using his black card in exchange for it. The couple happily agrees. Ji-hyuk returns and gives the product to Darim, telling her that the couple didn't need it, so they passed it on. Darim happily accepts it. Later, the whole team prepares for the live stream, but the two experienced moms can't show up. One son is very sick, so Ji-hyuk tells her to go to the hospital, and another mom injured her eye. Now only two people are left, Darim and Goon. The live stream begins. Goon shares her story, how she became a mother right after high school, how her husband had to work parcel deliveries just to support them, and how one day he had an accident. She had nothing left, until the baby product company supported her by giving her free diapers. Talking about it makes her emotional, and she walks away midstream, leaving everything on Darim's shoulders. Darim has no choice but to demonstrate diaper usage alone. But she makes a mistake because she's never put a diaper on a baby before. After the stream, the manager scolds her harshly. Ji Hyuk immediately steps in, defending her. He says she just got nervous seeing the camera, and it was her first live stream, mistakes happen. Darim thanks him and leaves for home. But outside, the loan sharks grab her and kidnap her. Ji Hyuk sees them dragging her away and follows in his car. But halfway down the road, their car suddenly disappears. They've taken Darim to their secret base. Inside, they threaten her, saying they'll sell her kidney or liver if she doesn't give them the money. She's terrified. Right then, Ji Hyuk appears, holding his black card firmly in his hand. He faces the loan sharks and tells them straight that he wants to buy Darim for 30 million won. He says they don't need to touch her kidney or her liver. He'll pay the entire amount right now. After the payment goes through, he frees her and immediately notices the injury marks on her wrists. The moment he sees them, his expression changes. He warns the loan shark boss that if he ever comes near Darim again, he won't hesitate to buy his organs next. Then Ji Hyuk lifts Darim in his arms and takes her safely out of that building. Meanwhile, Kim Seon is with Jun. Jun asks him if Ha Young will come again, because Jun really wants her to be his dad's girlfriend. But Kim Seon doesn't take the idea seriously at all. Later that night, Ji Hyuk drops Darim off at her house. She looks emotional and overwhelmed, so he quietly hands her his handkerchief and tells her not to worry about paying the money back. He also gives her first aid supplies before leaving. When Kim Seon sees Darim arriving home with bandages on her hands, he immediately brings dinner for her and asks what happened. Darim tells him everything, that the loan sharks kidnapped her, and Ji Hyuk paid her entire loan to save her. Hearing that makes Kim Seon feel bad, because he couldn't be there to protect her. On the other side, Ji Hyuk is regretting everything. He feels like he acted way too heroic, almost dramatic, and now he's embarrassed. He wakes up early the next morning, still thinking about it, and decides he'll just tell Darim the simple truth. She's his team member, and as her team leader, he helped her. That's it. At the office, all the team members are nervously waiting for him, terrified that Mr. Gong might fire them because of the live stream mistakes. But then Jae-young-min arrives with Ji Hyuk and tells them the opposite. Ji Hyuk saved all of their jobs. After the live stream, their sales shot up, their company became one of the most searched companies online, and Mr. Gong approved Ji Hyuk's project on the spot. The moms are shocked, wondering how Ji Hyuk managed to do something so big. Jae-young-min tells them he did everything early that morning. He wasn't just helping Darim, he was finally ready to lead the whole team seriously. Just then, Darim approaches Ji Hyuk with a contract. It's a repayment contract to return the money. Ji Hyuk looks at her and asks why her husband didn't come to help her. Shouldn't he have shown up when she needed him the most? Hearing that, Darim immediately starts praising her husband, saying he's attentive and caring. But every word she says makes Ji Hyuk burn with jealousy. He was the one who fought the loan sharks. He paid her entire loan. Yet here she is, praising a man who didn't even show up. Annoyed, he snaps and tells her that until she pays back every last cent, he is her owner, and she must follow everything he says. And he means everything. That day, he forbids her from eating anything except salad for lunch. He also makes her wear slippers instead of proper shoes and orders her to take the stairs instead of the elevator. It's his petty revenge. Meanwhile, at his studio, Kim Seon keeps thinking about Darim and Ji Hyuk. He gets distracted, spills water on his shirt, and has to change. Ha Young walks in right at that moment and sees him shirtless. She's shocked for a moment, then hands him a gift for June. She asks about his wife, and he tells her that he and his wife separated right after June was born. When she learns that he isn't dating anyone, she becomes even happier and ends up going to lunch with him. Later, Ji Hyuk and his team go to promote a family park, where all the moms share stories about giving birth. But Darim has nothing to say, so she borrows her own mother's birth story and tells them her son was born through a C-section. The moms become even more suspicious, because Darim doesn't seem like someone who has raised a kid. She didn't even know how to put on a diaper during the live stream. But instead of doubting her son, they start praising her husband. They say he must have taken care of the baby instead. He must be a very helpful man. Hearing all this makes Ji Hyuk jealous all over again, and he walks away. Go-to-rim also steps aside for a break, stressed that her lie is getting harder to maintain. She notices a woman struggling to put a diaper on her baby and goes over to help. She sees that the woman is using a foreign brand diaper, so she tells her about their company's diaper line. But the woman replies that the brand she uses donates half its profit to environmental protection. That idea touches Go-to-rim deeply. The environment that babies are growing up in should be clean too. Later, she walks over to a grandfather tree and sees a board with Ji-hyuk's name on it. Right then, Ji-hyuk shows up. Go-to-rim points out the name, and he remembers planting a small sapling there with his mom when he was a child. That sapling has grown into this big tree. Go-to-rim suggests he take pictures with the tree so he can show his mom. She makes him pose in different ways. While they're taking pictures, a tiny ladybug lands on his neck. He completely freaks out, and Go-to-rim gently removes it for him. After that, she teases him endlessly. Yesterday he had faced loan sharks like a fearless hero, but today he was terrified of a tiny ladybug. They also meet the park caretaker and learn that Ji-hyuk's mom was the one who built this entire park 20 years ago, back when she was a company director. But recently, the park got a closure notice because it didn't get enough publicity. Go-to-rim immediately comes up with an idea. They can run a tree planting campaign. It would attract families, help the environment, and promote their company at the same time. Hearing this reminds Ji-hyuk of his mom again. She used to think the exact same way. Later, when Ji-hyuk shows the photos to his mom, she becomes genuinely happy. Working with a team of mothers has helped Ji-hyuk understand her sacrifices even better, and he thanks her for everything she has done. That night, Go-to-rim also thanks her own mom, and her mom tells her that she is her most precious daughter. When Go-to-rim comes home, Kim Se-in cooks noodles for her. While they eat, she tells him the funny story, how Ji-hyuk got scared of a tiny ladybug. And the moment Kim Se-in hears the way she talks about Ji-hyuk, he realizes Go-to-rim might be starting to like him. The next day, Ji-hyuk presents his environmental protection plan during the meeting. His dad actually likes the idea, but Ji-hy still wants to put him down. So she challenges him, saying he's definitely going to fail. That's why Ji-hyuk gathers his team and tells them they'll be competing directly against the management team. They need to work smart. While explaining all this, he even compliments Go-to-rim, because the idea originally came from her. Later, Do-rim thanks him, but he just shrugs it off and says he was only praising her brain, not her as a person, and that she still isn't really that smart. Then he walks away, leaving her standing there. After that, Ji-hyuk goes to meet Ha-young, because she's working on an exhibition. He assumes she must know some talented photographers. Ha-young recommends Kim Se-in. Ji-hyuk still doesn't know Kim Se-in is Do-rim's husband, so he immediately agrees. Meanwhile, during lunch, the management team starts mocking Ji-hyuk's team. Their manager says all these moms can't possibly beat them, because moms should only be doing housework, not office work. That comment really hurts their pride, and Do-rim steps up. She tells the manager that they'll compete fairly and she'll beat them with her skills. Her confidence boosts all the other moms, and they all get motivated to work hard. Seeing them determined, Ji-hyuk gets impressed and even brings them dinner that evening. Later, Ji-hyuk asks Jae-young-min about the photographer, and Jae-young-min confirms that Kim Se-in has agreed to work for the campaign. On the other side, Kim Se-in tells Do-rim the same thing. He'll be coming to the office starting tomorrow. Do-rim gets nervous. She's scared that if he messes up even a little, people will find out they're not actually husband and wife. But Kim Se-in reassures her, saying he once played Romeo in high school, so he knows how to act. He promises he can handle everything. The next day, they arrive at the company. Do-rim spots Ji-hyuk entering the elevator and immediately hides. She tells Kim Se-in to hide too. But the moment Ji-hyuk notices them, Kim Se-in grabs Do-rim's hand and walks straight into the elevator with her. When Ji-hyuk asks why he's there, Kim Se-in introduces himself and says he's the photographer hired for the campaign. Later in the meeting, Kim Se-in tells Ji-hyuk that he came because of his wife, because they love each other so much and they have never fought. Ji-hyuk immediately gets suspicious because Do-rim had come from Jeju after fighting with her husband. Just then, Ha-young arrives, and at that exact moment, Kim Se-in calls Do-rim honey. Ha-young hears everything, and then Ji-hyuk adds that Kim Se-in is Do-rim's husband. Ha-young gets confused, So Kim Seon quickly pulls her aside and lies again, saying Darim is actually his ex-wife. He tells her he's only doing this because he owes Darim's mom a favor. Ha-young believes him. After that, Ji-hyuk introduces Kim Seon to all the team members, and he also tells them that Ha-young will be sponsoring the campaign. Everyone looks at Kim Seon and Darim and can't stop praising them, saying they look so cute together. Hearing all this, both Ha-young and Ji-hyuk feel jealous. That's why they interrupt and announce that the team will be going on an overnight trip for the campaign photo shoot. The whole group gets excited. Later, when Kim Seon and Darim are about to leave for home, they run into Ha-young outside the elevator. She's just about to tell Darim the truth, that Kim Seon called her his ex-wife, but he quickly stops her and pulls her aside again. He lies once more, saying Darim is too soft-hearted, and if she even suspects someone knows the truth, she'll panic. Ha-young, again, believes him, but only on one condition. He must take her first birthday photo. They meet at a studio, and Ha-young explains that her parents were always too busy. They didn't really pay attention to her, not even enough to take pictures on her first birthday. So now she wants to do it for herself. Kim Seon takes beautiful photos, and Ha-young actually feels good spending time with him. But the session ends quickly, so she asks him to make a full album of 22 photos. She tells him that whenever she sends a time and location, he has to show up to take her pictures. Soon after, the team heads out for the campaign photo shoot. Kim Seon takes pictures of Darim too, and the two of them laugh and enjoy themselves like normal friends, but Ji-hyuk and Ha-young get bothered seeing them so close. That evening, they all have dinner together. Kim Seon keeps serving food onto Darim's plate, and everyone starts teasing them. They say if he cares about her this much, there can only be two reasons. Either he's an angel who truly loves her, or he's hiding something. Both Darim and Kim Seon get nervous. Kim Seon quickly changes the mood by pulling Darim's cheek and saying she's the real angel. A little later, Kim Seon goes outside to take pictures of the cherry blossoms. That's when Ha-young shows up and asks him to take another photo of her. Then she indirectly tries to hint that she feels uncomfortable seeing him with Darim, but he doesn't get it. So she finally just says it directly. She can't stand seeing him with Darim. At the same time, Darim also steps out to get some fresh air, and Ji-hyuk secretly follows her. But instead of seeing Darim, Ji-hyuk ends up spotting Ha-young and Kim Seon kissing. Ji-hyuk is shocked. In his mind, Kim Seon is cheating on Darim. Right then, Darim also walks toward them, about to see the same thing. Ji-hyuk quickly pulls her into a hug, stopping her. He doesn't want her to see her husband kissing someone else and get hurt. But the truth behind the kiss, it was actually Ha-young who kissed Kim Seon first. Kim Seon wasn't even interested. And when Ha-young told him that she liked him and wanted to date him, he immediately refused. He liked Darim, but he had never confessed because he was scared she would reject him, and that their friendship would fall apart. Ha-young then told him that if that was how he felt, if he genuinely liked Darim, she would actually help him get closer to her. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk had fully convinced himself that Kim Seon and Ha-young were having an affair. That was why, in his mind, Kim Seon was acting so strange around Ha-young, and Ha-young kept praising him non-stop. Because of this misunderstanding, Ji-hyuk pulled Darim into a hug, using the excuse that he saw a naked man roaming outside and wanted to protect her. They sit on a bench together, and Ji-hyuk tells her to remember the view from Jeju Island. Because the night they had sat together on the beach, this was the same kind of feeling. Ji-hyuk gently explains that if she ever feels like she never received true love in life, she shouldn't blame herself. Because once she starts blaming herself, she'll always live with regret. He tells her that sometimes the easiest way to move on is to simply believe that love doesn't really exist, and that it's always someone else's mistake, not hers. And Ji-hyuk only said all this so that if Darim ever found out Kim Seon had cheated on her, she wouldn't break down and blame herself. But Darim doesn't think much about it. Right then, she gets a call from Kim Seon asking her to come back, so they both head to their hotel rooms for the night. Darim ends up sharing a room with Kim Seon, and Ji-hyuk gets restless seeing that. He keeps thinking about how he should protect her from Kim Seon. On the other side, Ha-young is extremely upset and drinking alone, because Kim Seon just didn't see her feelings. Kim Seon, meanwhile, notices Darim taking medicine and realizes she isn't feeling well. He tells her to sleep on the bed, while he sleeps on the floor. But Go-rim tells him he can sleep on the bed too, because they used to sleep together when they were kids. Kim Se-in just shakes his head and says they're not kids anymore. Then he admits something. Everything he said earlier, the acting, the dialogues, the feelings, none of it was acting. He said all of it from his heart. He asks her softly if she sees anything in him, anything at all, that could make her like him. But Go-rim completely misunderstands. She assumes Kim Se-in must like someone else, probably Ha-young, and that's why he's asking for advice. Hearing that, Kim Se-in just stays quiet and doesn't say another word. That night, neither Ji Hyuk nor Kim Se-in can sleep. Ji Hyuk is worried about Go-rim, and Kim Se-in is stuck wondering whether he should confess his feelings or not. The next morning at the office, Ji Hyuk is still debating whether he should tell Go-rim the truth. And just then she walks into his office. Ji Hyuk asks her if they can have lunch together, planning to finally tell her everything. But Go-rim innocently says he must want lunch today because the cafeteria is serving chicken. She still doesn't realize he wants to talk seriously. They go to lunch and all the moms are sitting together. They even make Jae-young-min join them so they can gossip, something Ji Hyuk hates. But when Ms. Jean starts telling a story about her best friend's husband cheating, Ji Hyuk immediately sits down to listen. Ms. Jean explains that she saw her best friend's husband feeding chicken to another woman at a restaurant, and then the two of them kissed. Ji Hyuk asks if she told her friend about it. All the moms say she should absolutely tell her, so her friend can find out about her husband's affair and take action. But then Ms. Nansuk disagrees. She says maybe it's just a weak affair that will end soon, so Ms. Jean shouldn't interfere. Otherwise, she'll get stuck in someone else's marital mess. This leaves Ji Hyuk even more confused about whether he should tell Go-rim the truth about Kim Se-in or not. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Ji Hyuk's mom goes for a walk and sees a husband tenderly taking care of his wife. She feels lonely, remembering how little her own husband cares for her. She sits down, and Go-rim's mom approaches her, sharing snacks with everyone. She even offers some to Ji Hyuk's mom, who refuses. Go-rim's mom notices the self-harm scars on her hand and gently starts to tell her own story, how, after her husband passed away, she once tried to end her life too. But she couldn't, because she had children who needed her. Ji Hyuk's mom abruptly stands up and walks away, saying she doesn't want to hear anyone else's tragic story. Then we see Go-rim again. She comes to Kim Se-in to get his review on a new baby lotion her company is launching. She wants him to try it on June and share his feedback. But Kim Se-in tells her that since he spends the entire day playing with June, and even sleeps next to him, he uses June's baby lotion on himself too, just so the baby won't get irritated by any adult scents. Hearing that gives Go-rim a great idea. She could suggest the company create a lotion suitable for both babies and parents. She smells the lotion on Kim Se-in's hand, leaning in to check the scent closely. Kim Se-in gets a little nervous seeing her so close, but Go-rim is simply focused on getting the feedback. The next day, we see Ha-young's parents getting angry at her for hiring an average photographer like Kim Se-in for her project. So Ha-young lies to them, saying that it was actually Ji Hyuk who selected him. Hearing that, her parents decide to have dinner with Ji Hyuk next week so they can also discuss the upcoming exhibition with him. Meanwhile, Kim Se-in gets ready for work very carefully. He wants to look good so that somehow Go-rim will finally notice him. But just when he reaches the company, Ha-young finds him outside the elevator. She tells him that he still has to take her birthday photos today, and if he refuses, she'll tell everyone the truth. So, even though he doesn't want to, Kim Se-in is forced to say yes. When they arrive at the office together and step out of the elevator side by side, Ji Hyuk sees them. And he immediately notices how unusually well-dressed Kim Se-in is today. So he starts imagining things again, thinking Kim Se-in must be doing all this for Ha-young, and they probably kissed again in the elevator. Later, during their meeting, when Ha-young tries to sit next to Kim Se-in, Ji Hyuk quickly sits between them. Throughout the entire meeting, he keeps an eye on Kim Se-in. And under the table, he sees Ha-young touching Kim Se-in's foot with her own. Seeing this makes him even more furious. After the meeting, everyone gets ready to go for lunch. But Go-rim says her stomach is upset, so she won't be joining. Hearing that, Kim Se-in tries to go with her. But Ha-young stops him and signals that they have to leave for the photo shoot. Ji Hyuk sees this and again assumes they're probably going somewhere to kiss. Go Rim is left alone, so she starts searching on her phone for what to eat during stomach pain. Just then, Ji Hyuk arrives with a bowl of porridge. He tells her that he ordered something else for himself, but the kitchen sent porridge by mistake, so she can have it. After that, he brings coffee for everyone and ginger tea specifically for her. Go Rim feels genuinely touched. Later, Ji Hyuk goes to meet Ha Young. When she tells him she has a crush on someone and really likes him, he immediately assumes she's talking about Kim Se-in. So he tells her not to break Go Rim's home. Go Rim is an innocent wife and a mother, and if she ever finds out her husband is cheating, she'll be shattered. Ji Hyuk says he doesn't want that, which is why he's even willing to marry Ha Young, just to stop her from getting close to Kim Se-in. Ha Young can't tell him the truth. She can't tell him that Kim Se-in and Go Rim aren't even husband and wife anymore, because Kim Se-in had told her to keep that secret. Meanwhile, Go Rim looks at her phone case, where she still keeps the clover. She had saved it carefully, and now she can't stop thinking about Ji Hyuk's efforts and kindness. The next day, when Ji Hyuk is about to leave for his presentation, Go Rim returns the clover to him. She tells him that she had kept it safe that day, and that maybe because of that clover's luck, she met someone like Ji Hyuk. Someone who paid off her loan, someone who brought her porridge, and someone who helped her without expecting anything. So she wants to return that luck to him, hoping it will help him with his presentation. After that, everyone gathers in the meeting hall. Before the presentation, the management team mocks the mother team, saying they will lose badly today. Ji Hyuk's team presents first. Their concept connects their baby products with luxury branding, and they plan to hire a famous influencer for promotions. Then it's time for Ji Hyuk's proposal. His concept is about green environments. He wants to show how important clean and safe surroundings are for children, because every parent wants their child to grow up healthy and breathe fresh air. One by one, the mother team members share their thoughts. And when it's Go Rim's turn, she reads a line written by Ji Hyuk. It says that the luckiest thing in his life was Go Rim finding that clover plant for him. In other words, he thinks of her as his good luck. Go Rim understands what he meant, and the whole team celebrates after the presentation ends successfully. Later, during the celebration dinner, Go Rim tries to drink even though her stomach hurts. Ji Hyuk stops her, but she is too happy to listen. She also notices how much Ji Hyuk is taking care of her. She even sees him eating porridge comfortably, even though earlier at lunch he had given his porridge to her. They talk about the cheating husband case again. Ms. Jean explains that the husband confessed everything himself and now wants a divorce. Go Rim says that if she were in the wife's place, she would also give him a divorce, because the most painful thing for her would be being married to someone who doesn't love her. Hearing that makes Ji Hyuk feel sad for her. Meanwhile, Kim Se-in is doing Ha Young's photo shoot. He gets a bit too close, and Ha Young starts feeling attracted to him again. But Kim Se-in is busy messaging Go Rim because he plans to pick her up later. Everyone gets drunk and goes home, except for Go Rim and Ji Hyuk. She's completely out of it, and Ji Hyuk holds her steady. Go Rim tells him she's not really drunk and she can see everything clearly. She can see how gently he's taking care of her and how good he's being to her. She admits that she likes this side of him, but she doesn't deserve it. She says she'll convince her heart to stay away from him. She does like him, but she's not in a situation where she can explain anything or let herself get close. Hearing this makes Ji Hyuk emotional. They are about to kiss, but Go Rim suddenly passes out and falls asleep on his shoulder. The next morning, she eats breakfast with Kim Se-in. When he asks how she got home last night, she tells him she took a taxi, but she doesn't fully remember what happened. Later, during a meeting with her team, everything suddenly comes back to her. Everything she said to Ji Hyuk. She shoots up from her seat in embarrassment and runs out. She bumps into Ji Hyuk outside and immediately asks him what happened between them last night. Then she lies and says she remembers nothing. If she admitted she remembered everything, Ji Hyuk would ask more questions, so she pretends she forgot. Hearing that, Ji Hyuk lies too, saying he doesn't remember anything either. Go Rim feels relieved. Meanwhile, Ji-hye, the female idol, finds a blurry picture on her manager's phone. It's a photo from last night, showing Ji Hyuk and Go Rim very close. Their faces aren't clear, so she tells her manager to collect more evidence. They want to expose Ji Hyuk for having an affair with a married woman, so they can destroy his image and get his project cancelled. Later that night, Go-Rim stays late at the office, working on her project. Ji Hyuk stays behind to help her. When he goes inside to get some documents, Go-Rim suddenly feels intense stomach pain. Her condition gets worse quickly, and Ji Hyuk decides to take her to the hospital. She refuses, but he tells her that all her organs are still technically his, so he's taking her to protect them. He rushes her to the hospital, where the doctors immediately admit her. Go-Rim loses consciousness. While she's being treated, Kim Si-in calls her phone. Ji Hyuk sees the call but doesn't pick up. After seeing Go-Rim in such pain, he has already realized one thing. From now on, if anyone is going to protect her, it will be him. Episode starts with Kim Si-in sitting with Go-Rim's mom. She's extremely worried because Go-Rim hasn't contacted her all day. Kim Si-in also keeps calling Go-Rim, but Ji Hyuk sees the call first, and he doesn't pick it up. When Go-Rim finally wakes up, she sees Ji Hyuk standing beside her and instantly gets upset. She feels guilty for troubling him again and using his help. She tries to go home, but Ji Hyuk stops her and tells her she actually collapsed at the company, so the company arranged VIP treatment for her at the hospital. And since she's still weak, he'll personally keep an eye on her. Then he adds that if she refuses, he'll lower her performance score. Hearing that, Go-Rim has no choice but to listen. She doesn't know that none of this is from the company. Ji Hyuk arranged everything personally. When Ji Hyuk comes close to give her some water, the two of them end up very close. But just then the nurse walks in. She checks Go-Rim's blood pressure, and it's extremely high, all because Ji Hyuk was standing too close. Ji Hyuk awkwardly leaves to get a cold drink. At the same time, Kim Si-in also comes out of the hospital but misses seeing Ji Hyuk. When Ji Hyuk returns, Go-Rim is already sleeping. He hears her softly calling out for her mom in her sleep because she wants to meet her. The next morning, Go-Rim wakes up and is shocked to find Ji Hyuk sleeping on the chair right next to her. He never went home. He stayed the whole night beside her. Meanwhile, we see Ha-young's older brother, Tae-young, who has just returned from abroad. His driver comes to pick him up at the airport. Tae-young excitedly says he wants to stop by the animal shelter first to visit a friend, but the driver refuses. His mom ordered him to bring Tae-young home directly. Tae-young doesn't argue, but once they reach home, he hands the driver his final pay and fires him on the spot. Then he meets his parents, and we learn he recently got divorced. He has returned home to ask his parents for business funding. On the other side, Ha-young visits Kim Si-in at his studio, pretending it's for an exhibition meeting. She has even cooked lunch for him with her own hands. She feeds him and asks if he likes her now. Kim Si-in doesn't answer. He simply says he came to talk about the exhibition, and he has a great idea. He suggests they display photos of babies and their parents. Ha-young then improves the idea further. Instead of models, they should shoot real families so they can capture real emotions. They're still talking when Jun walks in. He's very happy to see Ha-young, and she even feeds him as well. Watching them, Kim Si-in suddenly remembers Jun's mom. If she were alive, she too would have lovingly fed Jun and taken care of him like this. Then the whole company heads to Family Park for a tree planting campaign. When Mr. Gong's mother meets the TF team, Go-Rim gets overly excited and starts saying motivational quotes non-stop. Ji Hyuk can't help but laugh at her. Everyone begins planting. Ji Hyuk secretly tells her manager to keep an eye on Ji Hyuk and click pictures of him with Go-Rim. But the manager can't get even one perfect photo because Ji Hyuk and Go-Rim are too focused on helping each other plant the trees, and laughing, playing, even throwing a little dirt at each other. At the same time, Jae-young-min and Go-eun also start getting closer. Meanwhile, Tae-young goes to meet his friend, and we find out it's Ji-hyuk. But she doesn't look very happy to see him. That's when we learn the truth. Tae-young and Ji-hyuk dated in the past, but he broke up with her and married someone else. His reason? Ji-hyuk seemed weak to him in business matters because she's Mr. Gong's stepdaughter, and there was always a nervous, frightened look on her face. But now Tae-young has come back to her because he needs her help. Back at the park, Go-Rim names her planted tree after her dad, hoping it'll grow big and helpful just like he was. They're about to leave when Nan-suk suddenly runs in, panicked. She brought her son to the campaign, and now he's missing. Everyone starts searching. Go-Rim heads into the restricted area and finds the kid's toy lying on the ground. She panics and rushes deeper into the woods. But as she's walking, her foot slips. She falls hard and immediately loses consciousness. The moment Nansuk's son was finally found, everyone realized that Go Rim was missing. Heavy rain started pouring down, and Ji Hyuk immediately ran into the restricted area to search for her. He eventually found her, but the rain grew so intense that they couldn't make it back through the forest. They took shelter inside a small cave. Meanwhile, Jaeyoung-min quickly informed Kim Seon. At that moment, Kim Seon was with Ha-young, so he asked her to take care of June and rushed out to find Go Rim. Inside the cave, Ji Hyuk called Jaeyoung-min and told him he had found Go Rim and they were waiting out the rain. But the signal kept breaking, so Jaeyoung-min couldn't hear him clearly. Ji Hyuk spread out his handkerchief on the ground to make a dry spot for her to sit, and the two of them talked quietly. Go Rim admitted that, to her, Ji Hyuk felt a lot like her dad. When she was little, her father would always step in front of her problems, protect her, and show up whenever she needed him. And now, Ji Hyuk was doing the same thing. He always showed up to shield her, support her, help her, whether she asked or not. Ji Hyuk noticed she was shivering badly, so he took off his jacket and helped her into it, then sat close and hugged her tightly. He whispered that, just for a moment, he wanted to forget the whole world and sit here only with her. Go Rim quietly nodded. She agreed. But as she sat close to him, she noticed Ji Hyuk himself was burning up with fever. Worried, she shrugged off his jacket and tried to give it back. And that's when Ji Hyuk looked straight at her and said he couldn't hold back anymore. He couldn't stop himself. He was in love with her, and he didn't want to pretend otherwise. He leaned in, and they were just about to kiss when Kim Seon suddenly appeared at the mouth of the cave. He grabbed Go Rim's hand, ready to take her away. But then Ji Hyuk caught her hand too, refusing to let go. Right then, the other team members arrived, and Ji Hyuk had no choice but to release her. Go Rim left with Kim Seon. Back at the park, Ha-young was taking great care of June, and she even used the chance to ask him everything about Kim Seon, his likes, dislikes, habits, all of it. On the way home, Kim Seon told Go Rim that he would pay off her entire loan and even take an advance from the exhibition people if needed. But she had to quit her job. He didn't like how close Ji Hyuk was getting to her, and he didn't trust Ji Hyuk's intentions. Go Rim pushed back, insisting that Ji Hyuk was just her boss and he hadn't done anything wrong. Hearing that only made Kim Seon angrier. Go Rim had no idea about his feelings, and it frustrated him even more. Ji Hyuk wasn't doing well either. He still believed Kim Seon was her husband, and now he felt sure that Go Rim would never leave her marriage for him. Being close to her only made everything more painful. He was starting to see himself becoming like his own father, getting involved with a married woman, crossing lines he shouldn't cross. Even if it felt like love to him, to the rest of the world it looked like an affair, and that thought tore him apart. The next day, Ji Hyuk's mother managed to run out of her hospital room after overhearing Mr. Gong and his team talking about taking pictures with her for the press. All the assistants spread out across the hospital looking for her, but Go Rim's mom found her first. She quickly hid her inside a restroom and helped her calm down. Ji Hyuk's mother was terrified, and as she opened up about everything she had been through, Go Rim's mom gently told her that she should have left her husband long ago. At least then, her kids wouldn't have grown up watching her suffer every day. And it was true, Ji Hyuk had never wanted to see his mother broken like this. Later, the employees received their first salaries, and Go Rim became emotional. She immediately decided she would pay Ji Hyuk back first. But she didn't want to go empty-handed, so she bought him a small gift too. When she went to the office to give it to him, Jaeyoung-min told her that Ji Hyuk hadn't come in today. He was really sick. At home, Ji Hyuk lay awake, unable to rest, replaying everything about Go Rim and Kim Seon in his mind. His dad's shadow crept into his thoughts again. He felt like he was becoming exactly what he hated. Worried, Go Rim asked Jaeyoung-min for his address. She picked up medicine and dinner and went to his house to check on him. But when Ji Hyuk opened the door and saw her standing outside, he spoke coldly. Too cold. He asked her if Kim Seon even knew that his wife had come to see another man this late. His words hit her hard. Go Rim apologized softly, set the bag of food and medicine on the ground, and walked away with tears in her eyes. Everything was spiraling because of her, and she didn't know how to fix any of it. Later, Ji Hyuk tries his best to move on from Go Rim. In desperation, he tells Ha-young that he'll marry her as soon as possible. and the very next day, he even goes with his mother to meet Ha-young's parents. But Ji-hyuk's mom keeps sensing something is off. Her son doesn't look happy at all, and he has never once mentioned that he actually likes Ha-young. Still, both families sit together for lunch. Taeyong even thanks Ji-hyuk, saying that ever since Ji-hyuk stepped away from the startup program, Taeyong's path became clear and his work has been going well. Then, suddenly, Ji-hyuk announces in front of everyone that he wants to get married as soon as possible. In fact, he's ready to get engaged next week. Ha-young freezes for a moment. She's confused, and the moment the meeting ends, she tries to talk to him. She tells him that he's clearly doing all this because of Go-rim, and that she herself doesn't want to marry him. She's not even interested in him anymore. She was ready to refuse the engagement, but Ji-hyuk says that if she refuses, her family will lock her inside the house. And she knows that's true. Meanwhile, Mr. Gong scolds his wife for not behaving well in front of Ha-young's family. She just sat there silently, and accidentally, he blurts out the real reason. Ji-hyuk is getting married so that Mr. Gong can finally divorce his wife. Hearing this, Ji-hyuk's mom feels awful for her son. Elsewhere, we see Ji-hy and Taeyong talking. Ji-hy is extremely upset. If Ji-hyuk and Ha-young get married, Mr. Gong is ready to give the entire company to Ji-hyuk. Taeyong uses this moment to provoke her. He tells her that if she wants, he can help break the engagement for her. After all, she has been doing everything for the company just to be noticed by her father, and yet, Mr. Gong plans to give everything to Ji-hyuk because Ji-hy isn't his biological daughter. Hearing this, Ji-hy leaves angrily. The next day, the news of Ji-hyuk and Ha-young's engagement spreads everywhere. Out of everyone, Ji-hy is the most irritated. She orders her manager to secretly get pictures of Ji-hyuk and Go-rim, photos that can make the engagement fall apart even before it officially happens. Meanwhile, before leaving for the office, Go-rim is thinking only about Ji-hyuk. She finds herself distracted by every little thing. And once she reaches the office, she gets hit by an even bigger shock, the news of Ji-hyuk's engagement. The moment she sees it, she feels strange, uncomfortable, unsettled. She walks up to the terrace to take a break and tries to talk herself out of her feelings. She reminds herself that she didn't join the company because of Ji-hyuk. She came here to work with dedication. She shouldn't get distracted by him, and she should maintain distance so Ha-young doesn't misunderstand anything. So, Go-rim walks into Ji-hyuk's office and apologizes to him. After that, she tries to keep a step of distance in everything she does. But even while avoiding each other, they keep running into each other, accidentally, again and again. Eventually, both of them end up making coffee together. But the hot coffee spills, burning Go-rim's hand. Ji-hyuk immediately grabs ice and presses it on her burn. And then he snaps at her, asking why she can't take care of herself, why she keeps forcing him to care about her, why she makes him worry again and again. Meanwhile, Ha-young tells her mom that she doesn't want to get married. She likes someone else. But her mom ignores everything and forces her to focus on the engagement preparations. Elsewhere, Ji-hy's manager tells Ji-hyuk about a new marketing plan. Usually, they send free kits to families with 4 kids, but this time, they're planning to go meet the kids directly and do surveys in person. The manager wants Ji-hyuk to participate with one member of his team. And of course, this whole plan is actually created by Ji-hy, so she can trap Ji-hyuk and Go-rim in a situation that would help break the engagement. Later that day, Go-rim heads home, and on the way, she sees her advertisement playing on a big screen. It immediately reminds her of all the things Ji-hyuk once said to her. But remembering all that only makes her sadder, because Ji-hyuk is about to distance himself from her forever. And she knows she has troubled him so many times, always needing his help, always relying on him. The next day, when Ji-hyuk travels by boat to conduct the survey with the family that has 4 kids, he's surprised to find out that someone from his own team is already there, and it's Go-rim. The moment he sees the ocean behind her, all the memories of the time they spent together come rushing back. It frustrates him even more, and he snaps internally about how the manager should have told him she would be joining. But the manager pretends not to notice either of them and walks away. They meet the kids, and once again the manager pulls a trick. He takes the parents away on the excuse of giving them a date, leaving Ji-hyuk and Go-rim to take care of all the kids alone. Because of that, The two of them end up spending the whole day looking after the little ones. And being around the kids actually lightens their mood. For a while, they forget about all the problems between them and just enjoy the moment. Later, the manager keeps them so busy that they end up missing the last boat back home. That means they have to stay overnight on the island. The manager even calls the owner of the guest house beforehand and tells her to give Ji-hyuk and Go-darim only one room. Since there's no other guest house nearby, the two of them have no choice but to share a room. When Go-darim finishes showering and comes back into the room, Ji-hyuk can't help but look at her. But then a spider appears in the room and Ji-hyuk suddenly panics. Go-darim tries to chase it away, but they end up making so much noise that the manager misunderstands what's happening and secretly snaps a bunch of photos of them together. After finally getting the spider out of the room, they go to sleep. Go-darim tries to talk to Ji-hyuk, telling him they took great care of the kids today, but Ji-hyuk doesn't want to talk. He tells her to sleep early so they can catch the first boat in the morning. Later that night, when Ji-hyuk wakes up, he finds Go-darim sleeping while facing him. The sight makes him emotional. He quietly slips out of the room and walks all the way to the water's edge. The next day, he meets his mom. Now that she knows the truth behind the deal, she begs him to stop the engagement because she doesn't want her son going through so much pain because of her situation. But Ji-hyuk doesn't want to listen. So as he leaves, she makes one last wish. She tells him she just wants him to marry the person he truly loves. After that, Ji-hyuk goes to choose engagement outfits with Ha-young and her mom. Ha-young is clearly uninterested, but her mom keeps telling Ji-hyuk that Ha-young is just nervous and everything will be fine after marriage. When Ha-young steps out wearing her dress, Ji-hyuk keeps imagining Go-darim instead of Ha-young, until Ha-young's mother brings him back to reality. Ji-hyuk walks away from there, and Ha-young also wants to escape. So she lies to her mother, saying she's going to have dinner with Ji-hyuk. But when she doesn't come home even late at night, her mom calls Ji-hyuk. And he lies too, saying Ha-young went to the washroom. He then rushes out to find her. Meanwhile, Ha-young runs to Kim Se-in crying. She tells him everything, that she loves him, and that's why she came to him to escape her engagement. But Ji-hyuk arrives right at that moment. Seeing them together, he misunderstands the situation and ends up punching Kim Se-in. Ha-young tries to explain that she's not Kim Se-in's mistress, but Kim Se-in stops her. Instead, he pulls Ji-hyuk aside and tells him clearly that he has no affair with Ha-young and that he's actually in love with Go-darim and will always love her. Hearing that, Ji-hyuk warns him that if he ever cheats on Go-darim, Ji-hyuk will deal with him himself, because Go-darim works day and night for her family, and Ji-hyuk cannot stand the thought of her being hurt. Later that night, when Go-darim reaches home, she sees an injury on Kim Se-in's face. She immediately applies medicine, while Kim Se-in apologizes for doubting her because of Ji-hyuk. He's just about to confess that he likes her, but Go-darim goes to the washroom before he can finish, leaving him unable to say anything. The next day, Ji-hyuk is unable to focus on anything. His mom's words keep echoing in his mind, that he should marry the one he truly loves. To clear his mind, he goes to the grandfather tree near Go-darim's house. And just then he sees Go-darim and Kim Se-in walking by with June. Kim Se-in had bought some things for both of them, so the three walk home holding hands like a little family. Watching them together makes Ji-hyuk emotional. He drinks heavily, and Jae-young-min shows up to join him. They go to karaoke to enjoy his so-called bachelor party. Jae-young-min gets totally drunk and passes out, while Ji-hyuk sings a sad song thinking about Go-darim. All the moments he spent with her come back, and he breaks down with regret, wishing they could have been together, wishing things could have gone right between them. The next day is Ji-hyuk's engagement. Hyuk's mom getting ready for the engagement ceremony. But even while fixing her hair and adjusting her dress, she keeps hearing Go-darim's mom's words in her head. She knows the truth. Ji-hyuk is only getting married to make his mother happy. Meanwhile, at the same palace, Kim Se-in and Go-darim arrive for Kim Se-in's friend's son's birthday party. Darim has no idea that Ji-hyuk will be there too. So when June suddenly calls her auntie, she doesn't even try to stop him. And right then, another one of Kim Se-in's friends walks up and, after seeing Darim and Ji-hyuk together, jokes that the two should just get married already. Darim quickly explains that she and Kim Se-in are only good friends. Ji-hyuk hears all of this from a distance, and his suspicion grows even more. He remembers how strange Darim acted the first day he met her at the company, how she didn't know anything about marriage or kids. A moment later, his mom comes to take him to the ceremony. And when it's finally time for Ji-hyuk to put the ring on Ha-young, their childhood memories are supposed to play on the screen behind them. But Ji-hy had already swapped the USB earlier with one that contained photos of Ji-hyuk and Go Darim. She doesn't get the chance to expose anything though, because right when Ji-hyuk lifts Ha-young's hand, Ha-young secretly crosses her fingers so the ring won't slide on. She's just about to tell everyone the truth, when suddenly Ji-hyuk's mom collapses. Ji-hyuk immediately rushes her to the hospital, urging Jaeyoung-min to drive faster. But just when they reach the hospital, his mom opens her eyes. She's perfectly fine. She admits she only faked fainting just to stop the engagement. She doesn't want her son marrying someone out of obligation anymore. On the other side of the palace, Mr. Gong is furious. He tells Ji-hy there won't be another engagement. Now they'll go straight to the wedding, no delays. Later, Ji-hyuk's mom introduces him to her lawyers, Ji-hun and Mari, who'll be handling her case against Mr. Gong. They behave so dramatically that Ji-hyuk can't even tell whether they're competent or not. But they promise they'll fight until Ji-hyuk's mom gets her rights back. After that, she goes back to her hospital room. When Ji-hyuk visits her again, she gently reminds him that he needs to stop worrying about her and start listening to his own heart. He should choose what he truly wants. The next day at work, Ji-hyuk calls everyone in for a meeting. Their next project is a photo exhibition, and they'll be handing out posters at the cultural park, where most parents take their kids. And to understand the target audience better, Ji-hyuk casually asks Go Darim what her son likes the most whenever he goes to that park. Darim freezes. She has no answer. Ji-hyuk catches her lie instantly again. He storms out in anger. And soon, everyone at the office starts whispering that his engagement must have been cancelled, and that's why he's acting so upset. A little later, Darim brings him a sample for the exhibition invitation card. He purposely rejects it and tells her to make a new design. Then he rejects the next one, and the next one, until she's made at least 10 different versions. Right then, Ha-young walks in to see him, and Darim can't help feeling a sting of jealousy. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk tells Ha-young he already knows the truth. Go Darim and Kim Se-in aren't actually married. Ha-young gets so shocked she nearly blurts everything out loud, but before Darim can overhear, Ji-hyuk covers Ha-young's mouth. From a distance, it looks like they're kissing, and Darim walks away hurt. Afterward, Ji-hyuk asks Ha-young to keep pretending the act for now, because he needs help dealing with his mother's legal case. She agrees, and gently advises him that just like she has feelings for Kim Se-in, he should also let himself love the person he truly likes, because chances like this don't come often. When Ha-young steps outside, she's just about to tell Darim she knows she's single when Ji-hy appears. He overhears everything, so Ji-hyuk quickly covers it up by saying they were only choosing ice cream flavors, whether Darim would want a single scoop or a double scoop. A moment later, Ji-hy comes to tell them that Mr. Gong wants to talk. When Ji-hyuk and Ha-young meet him, he starts discussing their wedding. Ji-hyuk immediately pushes the date forward, saying he won't get married until his mom fully recovers and can attend. Mr. Gong eventually agrees. Back at the office, Darim shows Ji-hyuk one final sample, and even then he finds faults. Darim finally snaps and says it looks like his problem isn't with her work. Maybe he has a personal issue with her. Maybe he's doing all this on purpose. Ji-hyuk angrily replies that no, his problem is exactly her work. She hasn't been honest. She lied about her life from the beginning. He still doubts she's really a mother or a wife at all. Hearing this, Darim quietly apologizes. But Ji-hyuk coldly tells her to sign her resignation tomorrow. He won't keep someone who lied to him for so long. Darim steps out of the room heartbroken. She keeps thinking about how everyone will soon find out she isn't a mom, and how people will bully her again. Meanwhile, Ha-young goes to see Kim Se-in and tells him everything. Ji-hyuk knows the truth now. Kim Se-in immediately starts worrying about Darim too. Darim goes to the hospital to meet her mother, and finds out she'll be discharged soon. Her mom thanks her, grateful that Darim has been paying for all the expenses and will continue supporting her. Hearing this, Darim realizes she has no choice. She has to be honest with Ji-hyuk. She has to explain everything so he won't fire her. So even though it's pouring heavily outside, She goes straight to Ji Hyuk's apartment and messages him. She waits in the rain, completely drenched, until finally, Ji Hyuk walks toward her with an umbrella. Without a word, he brings her inside his home. After that moment, Go-derim finally tells Ji Hyuk the whole truth. She explains how her sister, De-jeong, ran away after taking a huge loan, how she was stuck in Jeju when her mom suddenly had a heart attack, and how she had to rush back and somehow manage the hospital bills while also trying to save their home. That's why she applied to Ji Hyuk's company and lied. She'd said she was married, that she had a child, all because she needed the job to take care of her mom. It wasn't something she enjoyed doing. She felt guilty. She regretted deceiving everyone, especially him. And that's why she was ready to resign. She just needed a little time to find a new job. She asks him for that much. Hearing her story, Ji Hyuk finally believes she's telling the truth. So he asks for some time too, to think about her resignation. In other words, he wasn't firing her, not yet. Go-derim goes home, sits alone, and breaks down a little. But then Kim Se-in shows up to talk. She tells him everything too, and apologizes for dragging him into her mess and causing him trouble. But Kim Se-in tells her she never burdened him. He never once felt annoyed because of her. And right then, he finally confesses his feelings. He tells her how much he likes her, and that he wants to spend his life with her. He even tells her to take her time and think about it. Hearing this, she's stunned. She has no answer. So the next day, she quietly slips into the office, trying to avoid facing him. When she arrives, some lady accidentally drops her things. Go-derim bends down to help her. Ji Hyuk sees this, and suddenly remembers that moment back on Jeju Island. And by now, Ji Hyuk has already made up his mind. He's going to follow his heart. And his heart is with Go-derim. So he walks over, helps her too, and gives her a small smile before walking away. Somewhere else, a package arrives at Taeyong's house. When he opens it, he finds photos of Ji Hyuk and Go-derim. He immediately knows who sent them. He goes straight to Ji Hyuk and tells her he understands she's trying to stop Ji Hyuk's marriage. But if Ha-young's dad saw these photos, instead of canceling the wedding, he'd probably speed it up. A small scandal like this wasn't enough to break such a big business deal. So Taeyong advises Ji Hyuk to collect stronger evidence and come up with a better plan. Back to Ji Hyuk and Go-derim. They're assigned to distribute posters for the exhibition. Everyone forms teams, and when their turn comes, Go-derim quickly refuses to work with him and says she'll do everything alone. But Ji Hyuk goes with her anyway, making up an excuse that he needs to keep an eye on her so she doesn't mess anything up. He even makes her drive. She's terrified, scared that the smallest mistake will cost her the job. Ji calmly tells her to relax and drive properly, and that he's not firing her. They put up the posters together. At one point, Ji Hyuk leans in close to stick a poster on the wall, but Go-derim misunderstands. She thinks maybe he's getting close because he's single now. She gets flustered and nervous again. Meanwhile, Go-derim's mom informs Ji Hyuk's mom that she'll be discharged soon and going home. And Ji Hyuk's mom panics a little because she also had to leave the hospital soon, but she didn't know where to go. Mr. Gong's men would find her at any hotel, and she wouldn't be able to handle her case. So Go-derim's mom suggests she come stay with them. She spends her whole day alone anyway, and Ji Hyuk's mom's presence would give her company. Ji Hyuk's mom agrees. Elsewhere, Ji Hyuk arrives for the exhibition interview and bumps into Kim Se-in. Ji Hyuk teases him, saying he acted very well as Go-derim's husband. Kim Se-in replies that he's always liked Go-derim, and if anyone will stand beside her in the future, it'll be him. Then both of them are made to sit together for the interview. Because Kim Se-in took the photos, and Ji Hyuk is the project lead. They start bragging about themselves and competing with each other, even spilling water on each other to make the other leave. But both refuse to move. Then Go-derim is called in for her interview, and the first thing she does is praise Ji Hyuk. He becomes overly confident, until she also starts praising Kim Se-in. And just like that, their competition restarts. For the magazine cover, the photographer needs a picture of Ji Hyuk and Kim Se-in together. They stand as far apart as possible, but then they're told to move closer, so they grab each other's hands tightly and force a smile. The hatred is obvious, but they manage the shot. After the work wraps up, Go-derim talks to Kim Se-in. He behaves completely normally, telling her not to stress about his confession. He doesn't want her to feel pressured at all. He tells her to finish work and meet him outside the office. Ji Hyuk overhears everything, and when Go Rim goes inside, he tries to keep her back by assigning random tasks. But she'd already finished all her work, and Kim Seon was calling her. She's about to leave when Ji Hyuk stops her. He tells her she has to come have dinner with him. He's not letting her go, and before she can say anything, he leans in and kisses her. But suddenly, Rim remembers the moment she saw Ji Hyuk kissing Hyung. The thought hits her so hard that she pushes him away. She snaps at him, saying he must be doing all this just to get revenge. After all, he's supposed to marry Hyung, so how can he act like this with her? Ji Hyuk tries to calm her down. He tells her that he and Hyung don't love each other at all, and that the truth is, he's liked Rim ever since the first time he saw her. But Rim refuses to believe him and walks away. When she gets outside, Kim Seon is still waiting for her, but she doesn't talk to him either. And when Ji Hyuk comes out searching for her, Kim Seon silently watches him, confirming exactly who must have upset Rim. Back home, Rim can't stop thinking about everything. The next day, when she arrives at the office, she ends up seeing Ji Hyuk kissing someone again. This time, it looks like Nansuk. Shocked, she rushes to the other moms and asks if Ji Hyuk treats them the same way too. All the moms nod, but what they're actually talking about is his strict scolding. They mean that Ji Hyuk yells at them the same way he yelled at Nansuk, but Rim completely misreads it, thinking they're confirming he kisses everyone. Suddenly, Rim starts doubting herself. What if that day with Hyung, she just saw it wrong? Maybe Ji Hyuk was only standing close, and she misunderstood everything. And even if Ji Hyuk does like her, why would he? She isn't from a rich family, and she doesn't match his standards at all. While she's lost in her thoughts, the moms gather around Nansuk, who's upset because Ji Hyuk yelled at her. She says she wishes she could work like Rim. Rim gently tells her she doesn't need to change anything. She's already good at her job, mistakes happen at work, and she shouldn't feel discouraged. Hearing that, the other moms immediately support Rim. Just then Ji Hyuk walks in. The moms jump in fear, but he's only come to take Rim shopping for gifts. At the elevator, he compliments her, saying she genuinely cares about people and lifts them up, which is something he really loves about her. The praise makes Rim shy. Later, they go to a supermarket. Rim tries a hand cream and squeezes way too much onto her palm. Ji Hyuk reaches out, rubbing the extra cream onto his own hands while complimenting her again, telling her he really admires how she always tests things herself before making decisions, and how she finishes every task on her own without relying on anyone. Rim gets awkward and asks why he's praising her so much. Ji Hyuk smiles and says he's simply listing the reasons he likes her, then casually calls her cutie. Meanwhile, Kim Seon is working on preparations for the exhibition. Hyung is there too, and they end up taking a break together. Kim Seon tells her that he confessed his feelings to Rim. Hyung gets excited because she's sure Rim will reject him, meaning Kim Seon will finally move on and start dating her instead. Kim Seon asks how she can be so sure. Hyung says Rim doesn't have enough sense to date a handsome guy like him, and only she can truly understand him. Elsewhere, Jaeyoung-min and Go-eun talk. He asks her about her tattoos and tells her she looks cute, saying the tattoos actually make her seem even cooler. Go-eun admits no one has ever asked her about them before, let alone called her cute. As a single mom with tattoos, people usually avoid her. Back at the hospital, Ji Hyuk's mom is getting discharged. When Ji Hyuk learns she plans to stay at a friend's house, he gets worried and asks her not to. But when his mom steps outside, she runs right into Rim's mom, and Rim is there too. Ji Hyuk arrives behind her, and the mothers excitedly reveal they've already become friends. Ji Hyuk gets so happy that he accidentally calls Rim's mom, and then immediately grabs their bags himself, loading them into the car. Now he suddenly has the perfect chance to get closer to Rim and her family. When they all reach the house, Kim Seon has prepared a full lunch for everyone. He's surprised to see Ji Hyuk walking in behind them. And of course, the competition between the two men starts right away, both trying to impress Rim's mom. When Rim's mom and Ji Hyuk's mom praise Kim Seon and say every mother deserves a son-in-law like him because he's such a good cook, Ji Hyuk immediately grabs fruit afterward and struggles through cutting it for everyone, even though his slices are uneven and messy. And he doesn't stop there, he goes straight to the kitchen and starts washing all the dishes by himself. Darim walks in and tries to approach him, but Ji Hyuk comes up with a quick excuse. He says her hair is falling on her face and asks her to move it aside. As she leans in, he quietly starts praising her all over again, telling her how beautiful she is. Darim panics and tells him to stop talking like that before someone hears them. But Ji Hyuk's mom sees the moment from a distance, and she realizes instantly that these two are perfect for each other. At the same time, Kim Seon has also been keeping an eye on Ji Hyuk. He notices Ji Hyuk doing every little chore, clearly trying to impress Darim. So Kim Seon walks in too, ready to compete. Soon, the two guys are arguing over who gets to throw the garbage out, and while they fight over the trash bag, a whole bunch of cans spill to the ground. The two of them are forced to crouch down and start picking everything up one by one. Go Darim asks Kim Seon if he has an extra bulb, because the light in their toilet just went out. Before Kim Seon can even respond, Ji Hyuk shows up right away with an extremely bright, handheld-style bulb for their bathroom. Seeing this, Darim tells him to go home now, because there isn't even space left for him to sleep at their place. But Ji Hyuk keeps making excuses to stay a little longer. Later, Ji Hyuk runs into Jaeyoung Min, who tells him that he likes someone from their own office. Ji Hyuk immediately panics and wonders if that girl is Darim, so he warns Jaeyoung Min not to catch feelings for her. But Jaeyoung Min quickly clarifies that he likes Goun, not Darim. Meanwhile, Ji Hy, still busy plotting with her manager, discusses how they'll stop Ji Hyuk from taking over the company. On the other side, Ji Hyuk and Darim's mom sit together looking at family albums. Ji Hyuk is there too, flipping pages with them. When Darim walks in and sees this, she immediately grabs the album away. She doesn't want Ji Hyuk to see her childhood photos at all. Then Ji Hyuk's mom opens up and says that if she hadn't been hospitalized, she too would have taken Ji Hyuk out on picnics and tried to make more memories with him. Hearing that, Darim gets an idea and suggests that since it's Sunday anyway, they should all go for a picnic together. Everyone agrees. At the picnic, Ji Hyuk arrives, and Kim Seon shows up with Jun as well. The moment they see each other, they start arguing over who should go buy juice for everyone. So Darim's mom decides to settle it with a challenge. Whoever wins a match will bring the juice. They play badminton like they're competing in the Olympics, but Kim Seon ends up winning because he's played it before. Meanwhile, Mr. Gong and Ha-young's dad discuss when they'll promote Ji Hyuk, because Ha-young obviously can't marry someone who's only a team manager. Mr. Gong decides they'll make Ji Hyuk the vice president. Ji Hy overhears this and hates the idea. She immediately goes to Taeyong for help. Taeyong tells her that he already secretly purchased a large number of shares from Mr. Gong's company, and he's now one of the major shareholders. His plan is to team up with all the minor shareholders and remove Mr. Gong from power, so that Ji Hy becomes CEO, leaving Ji Hyuk and Mr. Gong with equal shares. Ji Hy joins the plan. Back at the picnic, Ji Hyuk treats everyone by ordering dinner with his black card. Later, he and Kim Seon even start a drinking competition. When Ji Hyuk's mom goes to rest, she calls Darim to talk privately. She opens up about Ji Hyuk's contract marriage and all the heavy problems he's dealing with, things he hides behind his calm face. She tells Darim that ever since Darim came into Ji Hyuk's life, he's slowly begun to change. He's happier now, more open, and more alive. Darim's kindness and loving nature have completely drawn him in. She hopes Darim and Ji Hyuk never separate. Later, Darim speaks with her own mom, who gently explains that if Darim truly likes someone, she shouldn't focus only on what that boy says, but on what he does. Real love is visible through efforts and actions. That's exactly how she once fell in love with Darim's dad. That night, Darim takes a blanket to Ji Hyuk, who's sleeping nearby. Even in his sleep, he's complimenting her. Hearing him, Darim remembers everything he's done for her, every gesture, every moment, and she finally realizes that Ji Hyuk genuinely loves her. The next day, the exhibition begins and many guests arrive. When Darim sees Ji Hyuk and Ha-young standing together, she can't help feeling jealous. But her team pulls her away because foreign guests have arrived, and everyone expects Darim to speak in English. But she doesn't understand a word. Right then, Ji Hyuk steps in, speaks to the guests in perfect English, and handles everything smoothly, impressing everyone. Afterwards, he reassures Darim that he's only spending time with Ha-young because of a business deal, and nothing more. Still, Darim quietly feels jealous. Kim Seon goes up to give his speech, but some kids begin fighting and interrupt him. So the mother team steps in, takes the kids outside, and plays games with them to calm things down. The guests become even more impressed with the mother team, and with team leader Ji Hyuk's management. But suddenly, a child spills juice on Ji Hyuk's pants. He heads to the restroom to clean up. At the same time, Taeyong arrives at the exhibition and secretly hires someone to create chaos. That man sneaks into the office area, starts pouring petrol everywhere, and prepares to set the exhibition on fire. Ji Hyuk walks in and catches him in the act. He tries to stop him, but the man hits Ji Hyuk on the head with a vase, knocking him unconscious, and sets the fire. When the fire alarm rings, everyone panics and rushes out. Ha-young falls down, and Kim Se-in shields her with his own body. The mother team quickly organizes and evacuates everyone safely, but they suddenly realize that Ji Hyuk is missing. Darim immediately runs back inside to find him. She discovers him unconscious on the office floor. Without thinking twice, she smashes the glass door with a statue, breaks inside, lifts Ji Hyuk onto her back, and carries him out of the burning building. She desperately tries to wake him up, and after a moment, Ji Hyuk finally regains consciousness. Darim hugs him tightly in relief, and that's when Ji Hyuk finally confesses. He tells her that he doesn't like her for any specific reason. He likes her because she's perfect exactly the way she is. He loves her deeply. Hearing that, Darim kisses him, with Darim finally telling Ji Hyuk that she likes him too, and that she's actually liked him for a long time. She just needed time to realize it. As the two of them lean in, about to kiss again, Jaeyoung-min and the rest of the team suddenly walk in and interrupt them. After that, we see Taeyong and Ji-hye together. Ji-hye is confused about how Taeyong can hate Ji Hyuk so deeply. She wonders if he's really doing all this just for money and his bank balance. Taeyong tells her the truth. He despises Ji Hyuk's self-made attitude. Because of that same attitude, Ji Hyuk once took a major business opportunity away from him, and Taeyong never forgot it. On the other side, Ji Hyuk is completely lost in thoughts about Darim. When Jaeyoung-min tells him that he saw everything, Ji Hyuk panics, thinking he might have seen them kissing. But Jaeyoung-min clarifies that he was talking about Darim risking her own life to save Ji Hyuk from the fire. According to him, Ji Hyuk now has a responsibility to treat Darim properly. That night, neither Ji Hyuk nor Darim can sleep. They're both too happy and too excited to see each other again the next day. The following morning, both of them carefully get ready, wanting to look perfect for one another. Ji Hyuk's mom even helps Darim choose an outfit, one that perfectly matches Ji Hyuk's taste. At the office, the two of them enter the elevator surrounded by co-workers, quietly holding hands as they walk toward their department. Once they arrive, Darim tells Ji Hyuk that they need to be careful and avoid everyone's eyes. Ji Hyuk steps closer and whispers that he can't control himself, because Darim looks too beautiful. All day long, they keep exchanging glances. Ji Hyuk even sends Darim a bouquet of flowers, with a note inside, the same four-leaf clover symbol. Darim feels incredibly special, but everyone assumes the bouquet must be from her husband, Kim Se-in. Hearing that makes Ji Hyuk jealous. Darim goes to Ji Hyuk's cabin to thank him, and Ji Hyuk tells her that he's already marked today on his calendar as day 1 of their relationship. As they move closer again, co-workers suddenly walk in. To avoid suspicion, Ji Hyuk pretends to scold Darim harshly about work. But in reality, he's secretly asking her out, suggesting a trip, or maybe a movie date. Later, Ji Hyuk attends a meeting where Mr. Gong scolds him for failing to ensure proper fire safety. Ji-hye watches this with satisfaction. She even tries to irritate Ji Hyuk by suggesting that since Darim rescued him, the two of them must have grown closer. Determined to find the truth, Ji Hyuk goes to meet Ha-young to investigate the person who caused the exhibition fire. He gets access to the CCTV footage from the art club hall. During the fight, Ji Hyuk had noticed a scar near the attacker's eye, something he believes will help him identify the man easily. Meanwhile, when Darim is with Kim Se-in, she tries to talk to him about her feelings and about Ji Hyuk. But Kim Se-in avoids the conversation, pretending he needs rest. He's clearly upset, because after the rescue, he saw Darim and Ji Hyuk kissing. That's when he realized Darim likes Ji Hyuk and sees him only as a friend. The next day, Ji Hyuk and Darim have lunch together. Ji Hyuk jokingly says that when he starts his own company, office romance will be mandatory. He explains that even he felt excited coming to work that morning just to see Darim, and if everyone felt that way, they'd never be late. As they walk outside holding hands, Darim feels nervous. Ji-hyuk reassures her that he chose this restaurant carefully, a place where no one from the office ever comes. But suddenly, their team members appear from the opposite direction. Darim panics and pushes Ji-hyuk away, sending him stumbling back. Ji-hyuk quickly grabs a nearby watering can and pretends to water plants, hiding his face. Darim leaves with her team, and just as Nansuk is about to notice Ji-hyuk, Darim distracts her and pulls her away. Later, Ji-hyuk is reviewing the CCTV footage when Darim comes to see him. Their moms have cooked dinner together and invited him over. Ji-hyuk refuses, saying he needs to search old company files that night. Darim stays to help him. In truth, Ji-hyuk is searching for important information related to his mother. Suddenly, a security guard arrives, and to avoid being seen, Ji-hyuk and Darim hide together. The excuse brings them dangerously close. Darim tells Ji-hyuk that his mom shared stories about his childhood, and that's when she truly understood him. Even though he appears mature, sometimes he still feels like a lost child. He's been carrying everything alone for so long. Darim promises that she will never leave him alone again, and that she'll always stay by his side. She hugs him tightly. Meanwhile, on his way home, Kim Seon runs into Darim's teammate, Ms. Lin. She casually mentions the flower bouquet, and Kim Seon immediately realizes that Ji-hyuk must have sent it. When he gets home and Darim tries to talk to him honestly, Kim Seon tells her that everything he confessed to her earlier was just a joke, that he was only teasing her. Hearing this, Darim gets angry. She asks why he would do something like that. She admits she'd been deeply worried about how to reject him without hurting his feelings or destroying their friendship. She cared about him a lot. Seeing this, Kim Seon becomes emotional too. He finally understands that he doesn't want to lose Darim as a friend and that their bond matters more than anything else. The next day, Ha-young tells her mother that Ji-hyuk is seriously trying to find the person who set the fire. She says that whoever did it probably wanted to sabotage Ha-young's exhibition. Hearing this, Taeyong mocks Ha-young, saying she hasn't done anything so great that someone would go this far just to stop her. Ha-young's mother immediately takes her stand and says that choosing Kim Seon as the photographer for the exhibition was actually a brilliant decision. Thanks to him, their exhibition sales have increased even more. Later, Ha-young meets Kim Seon. Just by looking at his behavior, she understands that Go Darim must have rejected him. To comfort him, she gently rests his head on her shoulder and tells him that she can help him move on, because she herself has been waiting for his answer for a long time. Meanwhile, Mr. Gong takes the environmental project away from Ji-hyuk's team and hands it over to Ji-hy's team. After the fire incident, he no longer trusts the mother team. Ji-hy then suggests that the mother team should be shifted to customer service instead, and Mr. Gong agrees. But Ji-hy's real plan is to create even more trouble for Ji-hyuk. She plans to flood the team with fake and aggressive customer complaints, hoping they will eventually give up on their own. As soon as the mother team is transferred to customer service, things become extremely difficult for them. Goon even starts crying. She shares everything with Jae-young-min, telling him how badly customers are treating her over calls. Jae-young-min consoles her and tells her to ignore those words as much as she can. Soon after, the customer service team manager asks Go Darim to prepare tea for the chairman and Ji-hyuk. When Darim enters the meeting room to serve the tea, she sees that Ha-young is also present. They are clearly discussing marriage matters. When Ha-young casually touches Ji-hyuk, Darim feels jealous. Later, in the washroom, Ha-young approaches Darim and explains that she was only acting. She says she actually likes someone even more handsome than Ji-hyuk, Kim Seon. Hearing this, Darim is surprised. Ha-young then invites Darim to dinner so they can talk freely. While drinking together, Ha-young opens up about her story. She explains that she likes Kim Seon because the moment she first saw him, she realized she wanted someone in her life who truly cared about her happiness. Kim Seon is warm-hearted and genuinely kind, someone who can give her the love and importance that even her own parents never gave her. Hearing this, Darim feels relieved, because she had always worried about Kim Seon's future. Now everything feels clear. Both women get very drunk and start calling each other sisters. Because of that, Ji-hyuk and Kim Seon have to come pick them up. Ji-hyuk is extremely happy while supporting Darim, but Kim Seon still feels a little awkward. The two men carry them home on their backs and put them to sleep on the same bed. Later, Kim Seon talks to Ji Hyuk alone. He tells him that he has known Go Do-rim for many years, and when Do-rim likes someone, she is willing to do anything for that person, even if it hurts her. All Kim Seon asks is that Ji Hyuk never hurt her. Ji Hyuk clearly promises that he loves Do-rim deeply and will always protect her and stay by her side. The next morning, when Ha-young wakes up, she prepares to go home. Outside the house, she runs into Kim Seon and Jun. Kim Seon notices something on Ha-young's face and gently wipes it away, making her smile. She then learns that Jun was supposed to go to daycare and had been waiting for Do-rim. Ha-young offers to drop him off instead. Jun happily goes with her. He tells Ha-young that she can be his best friend, because she doesn't have many friends either. He also shares that there's going to be a talent show at his daycare, where all kids will come with their moms, but Jun would be the only one without his. This makes him feel a little sad. At the office, Do-rim notices that everyone from the mother team looks exhausted and broken, just like her. Frustrated mothers are taking out all their anger on them during customer service calls. Still, it's their job, and they have no choice but to continue. During one call, a furious mother complains that she found a chicken bone inside her baby's diaper. She's so angry that she lashes out at Do-rim despite her calm explanations. To take revenge, the woman creates a deep fake audio by manipulating Do-rim's voice recording, making it sound like Do-rim ignored the complaint and insulted the company. The fake recording goes viral everywhere. Ji-hy's manager informs her that the recording is fake and that they still have the original call recording. Ji-hy orders him to delete the original evidence and then leaks the fake recording to the media. Soon, protesters gather outside the company. When they find out that Do-rim handled the call, they start attacking her, throwing things at her. The mother team rushes in and protects Do-rim, because they truly believe she could never do something like that. Ji Hyuk arrives at the scene and calls Do-rim into his cabin. He hugs her tightly, apologizing because he couldn't reach her in time to protect her. Do-rim tells him that she wants to talk directly to the angry mother and explain everything so the issue can be resolved. Ji Hyuk goes with her. When they try to talk to the woman, she's still extremely angry and starts leaving with her baby. Suddenly, the baby cart slips from her hand and rolls down a slope towards stacked boxes. Do-rim reacts instantly, saving the cart just in time, but she gets injured herself. They rush to the hospital. Realizing what Do-rim did, the mother understands that framing her was wrong. Do-rim saved her baby from getting hurt. She apologizes sincerely and publicly admits her mistake, clearing Do-rim's name and ending the hate and trolling. But the trouble doesn't end there. Taeyong has already investigated Ji Hyuk and Do-rim's past. He discovers that Do-rim is unmarried and secretly dating Ji Hyuk. He informs Ji-hy and even hands her Do-rim's marriage status certificate as proof. Ji-hy confronts Do-rim in front of everyone and shows the certificate publicly. Everyone is left completely shocked. Episode 12 begins when Ji Hyuk and Go Do-rim meet the woman who had filed the diaper complaint. The woman finally tells them the truth. She explains that after divorcing her husband, she was struggling badly with her finances. To support herself and her baby, she applied for a job at Ji Hyuk's company, specifically for the mother team, because she already had experience working at a baby product company before. But despite being qualified, she wasn't selected. That rejection frustrated her deeply, and out of anger and helplessness, she started cursing the company during customer service calls and eventually created that entire incident. Listening to her, Go Do-rim suddenly realizes something painful. If things had gone slightly differently, that woman could have been in the mother team instead of her. In reality, the woman was more deserving. Go Do-rim understands that she had taken someone else's opportunity by lying about her own situation. That realization makes her feel extremely guilty and heavy inside. Seeing her shaken, Ji Hyuk hugs her tightly and tells her that she didn't do anything wrong and that everything will be okay. After that, Ji-hy arrives at the office, carrying Go Do-rim's marriage status certificate. For now, she doesn't reveal it to anyone. Instead, she suggests that Go Do-rim do a TV interview with Kim Seon. Ji Hyuk immediately refuses, and Ji-hy understands that they're trying to hide the truth. To make Go Do-rim feel even more uncomfortable and guilty, Ji-hy announces her as Employee of the Month. Everyone praises Go Do-rim, applauding her success. But instead of feeling happy, Go-to-rim feels even lower and more conflicted inside. Meanwhile, Ha-young is out shopping for her wedding. But instead of choosing bridal outfits, she keeps looking for clothes suitable for June's daycare talent show. Her mother misunderstands and thinks Ha-young is preparing for a big public event, so she insists on selecting fancy party dresses instead. At the daycare, June is waiting to be picked up, but no one arrives on time. He starts feeling sad and forgotten. Just then, Kim Se-in shows up, holding a guitar. He tells June that he brought it so he can play guitar for him during the talent show. Later, when Go-to-rim returns home, her mother is praising her proudly. She says their aunt had invited them over, but she declined because Go-to-rim is busy with work. She adds that Go-to-rim is just like her father, someone who never gives up. The next day, when Go-to-rim goes to the office, memories start flooding back. She remembers how much she enjoyed working with the team, all the projects they completed together, and how much effort they put in. Overwhelmed, she begins writing her resignation letter. She doesn't want to deceive everyone anymore. At the same time, Ji-hyuk and Ji-hye attend a meeting with Mr. Gong. Ji-hye hands over her project to Ji-hyuk to manage. Ji-hyuk agrees on one condition. Once the project is successful, the mother team interns must be made permanent employees. After the meeting, Ji-hyuk tells Ji-hye that she actually chose the mother team very carefully and worked extremely hard to form it. He has now realized that Ji-hye intentionally selected candidates who had failed interviews elsewhere, just to create trouble for him. Ji-hyuk then announces the new project to the mother team. Everyone is confident they will succeed, especially because Go-to-rim is part of the team. But shortly after, Go-to-rim walks into Ji-hyuk's office and hands him her resignation letter. Instead of accepting it, Ji-hyuk shows her the interview scores. In reality, Ji-hye deliberately selected underqualified candidates with the lowest scores to form a show-up team that was meant to fail. But there was one exception. One person who proved, through pure effort and sincerity, that the team wasn't just for show. That person was Go-to-rim. Ji-hyuk tells her that she cannot resign, because the other moms still need her help, and the team still needs to become permanent. As he says this, he hugs her. This time, Ms. Jean sees them hugging. She freezes in shock. To her, Go-to-rim is still Kim Se-in's wife. Ms. Jean spreads this information around the office, and suddenly everyone starts behaving strangely toward Go-to-rim. They keep asking about Kim Se-in again and again. When they find out that the team is going to dinner with Ji-hyuk, and that Kim Se-in hasn't been invited, they all refuse to come. Meanwhile, Ha-young goes to watch June's performance. But Kim Se-in doesn't arrive in time with the guitar, and June's performance is about to be cancelled. At that moment, Ha-young steps forward and says she'll perform with June because she's his best friend. Together, they give a wonderful performance. Just then, Kim Se-in arrives and sees June performing happily. He feels deeply relieved and proud. Later that night, Kim Se-in speaks to Ha-young privately. He thanks her for everything she did for June, but tells her gently not to give June false hope, not to make him believe she'll always stay by his side. He makes it clear that he has no romantic interest in her. Ha-young is deeply hurt by his words. The next day, Ji-hyuk runs into Tae-young at the company, and the two get into an argument. Tae-young accuses Ji-hyuk of always stealing his opportunities. Ji-hyuk responds calmly, saying investors choose him because he's honest and genuinely helps them grow. Later, it's revealed that Tae-young is meeting Ji-hye secretly to plan their next move. On the other side, Go-to-rim finally tells her entire team the truth about her mother's illness, about lying to get the job, and about her plan to resign after the project. All the moms become emotional. They forgive her completely but feel heartbroken that she had to endure so much alone. Together, they grab Ji-hyuk and drag him to an expensive restaurant. Jaeyoung-min joins them too. They're there to celebrate Ji-hyuk and Go-to-rim's relationship. They tease them endlessly, even asking about their dynamite kiss. Go-to-rim finally feels relieved. She told the truth without hurting anyone. Later, Ji-hyuk drops her home and hugs her tightly, knowing how difficult everything has been for her. Because of heavy rain, they end up staying at Ji-hyuk's place. Go-to-rim apologizes, saying Ji-hyuk suffered emotional exhaustion because of her situation. Ji-hyuk tells her none of it matters, because in the end, he's the luckiest man alive. Go-to-rim is single. They kiss and grow closer. The next morning, Go-to-rim wakes up and feels happy seeing Ji-hyuk beside her. She suggests brushing their teeth and having breakfast. Ji-hyuk refuses, pulls her into a hug, and falls back asleep. Meanwhile, both mothers are talking about their children's futures. Go-to-rim's mother says she wants a simple, average man for her daughter, someone with a normal life. When Ji-hyuk's mother asks if Ji-hyuk would be suitable for Go-to-rim, her mother laughs and says it's impossible. Go-to-rim is average, while Ji-hyuk is too handsome, and their backgrounds are completely different. Elsewhere, Ha-young drinks heavily because of Kim Se-in and finally confesses to her mother that she likes him. Her mother gets furious. Ha-young tells her she doesn't want to live the same unhappy life as her. She wants someone who truly loves her. Enraged, Ha-young's mother goes to meet Kim Se-in, planning to pay him to stay away from Ha-young. But on the way, she injures her hand. When Kim Se-in notices, before she can say anything, he gently applies pain relief patches and makes her comfortable. She's unexpectedly impressed. Without saying a word, she leaves behind an envelope and walks away. Later, Go-to-rim and Ji-hyuk go on a date. They grocery shop together, ride bicycles home, cook lunch, play games, and relax. When Go-to-rim falls asleep on the couch, Ji-hyuk gently covers her with a blanket. At the same time, Ha-young's mother reflects on her life. When her husband asks for water, her injured hand slips, and the glass spills on him. He yells at her. In that moment, she realizes Ha-young was right. Even with financial comfort, she has never been truly happy. Back at work, Go-to-rim presents a new project, designing a comfortable baby carrier. The team visits supermarkets, surveys moms, records feedback, and designs the perfect product together. As they work closely, Ji-hyuk takes even better care of Go-to-rim and their bond deepens. One evening, Go-to-rim stays late at the office alone. Ji-hyuk comes to check on her, but she tells him to go home. Before leaving, Ji-hyuk secretly records his voice on her phone, asking why she didn't ask him to stay. The next day, the entire team gathers excitedly to present their product. Suddenly, Jaeyoung-min arrives with shocking news. Another company has copied their exact product and launched it that same day. Everyone is stunned. Just then Mr. Gong walks in, calls Go-to-rim forward, looks at her, and slaps her. The episode begins at Go-to-rim's house, where she is walking around absent-mindedly with the baby carrier in her hands. Seeing this, her mom starts teasing her, saying that at this rate, it will take millions of years before a real baby ever comes into Go-to-rim's life. Ji-hyuk is about to respond to that comment, but Go-to-rim quickly stops him before he can say anything. After that awkward moment, both Go-to-rim and Ji-hyuk realize that hiding the truth is no longer an option. They decide that they should finally tell their families everything. So, they openly tell both their mothers about their relationship, and Ji-hyuk even clearly says that he wants to marry Go-to-rim. After this, the two of them go out for a walk. While walking, Ji-hyuk asks Go-to-rim if her mom is unhappy about their relationship. Go-to-rim reassures him and explains that her mom is just very surprised. She never imagined that someone as handsome as Ji-hyuk could ever become her son-in-law, which is why she reacted the way she did. The next day, Go-to-rim is feeling excited about the product launch. But suddenly, Mr. Gong arrives there along with his team and Ji-hy. In front of everyone, Mr. Gong slaps Go-to-rim and accuses her of being a spy for another mother product company. He claims that she sold confidential company data to their competitor. Because of this accusation, Go-to-rim is taken in for investigation. What shocks everyone even more is that the emails containing the leaked data were actually sent from Go-to-rim's computer, even though she herself has no idea how or when that happened. At the same time, Mr. Gong orders Ji-hyuk to fire Go-to-rim immediately, but Ji-hyuk refuses. He tells Mr. Gong the truth, that he already knew Go-to-rim was not a real mother from the very beginning. He also makes it clear that he fully trusts her and knows she could never do something so wrong, because he loves her. To trap him further, Ji-hy shows Mr. Gong photos of Ji-hyuk and Go-to-rim together. Seeing those pictures makes Mr. Gong even angrier, and as a result, the entire investigation is now handed over to Ji-hyuk. Meanwhile, Ji-hy returns to her office looking satisfied, where Taeyong is already waiting for her. It is revealed that all of this was actually Taeyong's plan. He tells Ji-hy that this is only the beginning and soon, both Ji-hyuk and Mr. Gong will be completely thrown out of the company. On the other side, Ha-young has been deeply depressed ever since Kim Se-in rejected her. Her mother notices this change and becomes worried. Because of that, she goes to meet Kim Se-in once again. This time, Jun warmly welcomes her and proudly tells her that he is Ha-young's best friend. He even has a small gift prepared just for Ha-young. Later, all of them have dinner together, and Jun treats Ha-young's mom with great respect and kindness. Watching this, her mom becomes even more impressed, realizing that not only Kim Se-in, but even his son Jun, is a genuinely good person. Because of this, Ha-young's mom once again talks to Kim Se-in privately and asks him to at least think about Ha-young, because she truly loves him. But Kim Se-in still refuses and clearly says that he cannot imagine a future with Ha-young. Back at the company, Ji-hyuk is completely focused on the investigation. He is determined to prove Go-rim's innocence no matter what. But when Go-rim is questioned, she unexpectedly accepts all the blame. She even gives a statement saying that she was the spy and that she did everything herself. This shocks Ji-hyuk and the entire mother team, who had been fighting for her and believed she was innocent. The truth behind her decision is heartbreaking. Ji-hy had manipulated Go-rim and convinced her that if she didn't take the blame, everything would fall on Ji-hyuk as the team leader. Ji-hy told her that Ji-hyuk would be fired and would lose his chance to become vice president. Go-rim couldn't bear to see Ji-hyuk's future destroyed because of her, so she accepted all the false accusations to protect him. Later, Ha-young's mom goes to talk to Ha-young. Ha-young finally admits that she wants to go to the US so she can forget Kim Se-in and complete her studies there. Hearing this, her mom becomes emotional. Without saying much, she leaves behind Jun's drawing and walks away. Ha-young breaks down in tears while looking at that drawing, remembering how much joy she felt during Jun's talent show, more than she ever felt at any party. At the same time, Ji-hy and Taeyong hold a meeting with the company's other shareholders. Together, they convince them to remove both Mr. Gong and Ji-hyuk from the company. Meanwhile, the mother team plans to visit Go-rim's house because they still support her and want to reassure her that they are on her side. However, only Ji-hyuk goes alone to meet Go-rim, wanting her to feel safe knowing that he is with her. Even then, Go-rim remains determined to take all the blame. For Ji-hyuk's sake, she even breaks up with him, saying that if she had never met him, none of this would have happened. Ji-hyuk is left speechless, knowing that she is only saying this because of extreme stress and guilt. The next morning, Go-rim's mom comes to wake her up for work. That's when Go-rim finally tells her everything from the very beginning, how she lied to get the job to pay hospital bills and loans, and how she was fired because of it. Her mom is heartbroken, realizing how much her daughter has suffered silently for her sake. She then decides to sell their house and move to her sister's place, wanting to take Go-rim away from all this pain, even though that house holds so many memories of Go-rim's father. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk finally finds a crucial lead in his investigation. He tracks down the man who started the fire on the exhibition day, and shockingly, that man turns out to be from the rival company that copied their product. This gives Ji-hyuk solid hope. He rushes to tell Go-rim, but by then, she has already left the house and gone to the countryside. Ji-hyuk then goes to Kim Se-in and asks for Go-rim's address. Kim Se-in initially refuses, believing that all of this happened because of Ji-hyuk. But Ji-hyuk explains that he wants to protect Go-rim and clear her name. Realizing his sincerity, Kim Se-in finally gives him the address. Go-rim is now living on a farm with her uncle and aunt, helping them with work. They plan to introduce her to Sang-sik, the village chief's son, who was her childhood friend, hoping they might talk about marriage. Even then, Go-rim can't stop missing Ji-hyuk. At night, she listens to his recorded voice message, where he says that after the project ends, he plans to propose to her. This makes her emotional. At that very moment, Ji-hyuk arrives at the village. As soon as he enters the house, Go-rim's uncle mistakes him for a thief and attacks him. Go-rim rushes out and explains that Ji-hyuk is her boss, though she tries to send him back. But when Ji-hyuk mentions that he hasn't eaten all day, everyone immediately insists on feeding him. Go-rim introduces him as her ex-boyfriend, which makes her uncle and aunt even happier, believing she will now settle well with Sang-sik. They even start praising Sang-sik in front of Ji-hyuk. Ji-hyuk quickly corrects them, saying he is not her ex, but her current boyfriend, and that he's no less than Sang-sik. The entire scene turns unintentionally funny. Later, Ji-hyuk talks to Go-rim privately and tells her about the evidence he found. He assures her that once they catch the man who started the fire, she will be proven innocent. He also asks her to get back together with him, admitting that he has been miserable since the breakup. He even decides that he will stay in the village until she agrees to return with him. That night, her uncle takes Ji-hyuk to sleep in the living room because they need to wake up early for farming. The next morning, the uncle is ready to leave, but Ji-hyuk is still in bed. The uncle reveals that he only wanted to see who would be more suitable for Go-to-rim, Ji-hyuk or Sang-sik. Hearing this, Ji-hyuk suddenly becomes overly confident and joins the farming work. He ends up picking unripe fruits and gets scolded. Then Sang-sik arrives, and everyone becomes excited. Go-to-rim praises how tall and fit Sang-sik has become, which makes Ji-hyuk extremely jealous. He again declares himself as her boyfriend. Sang-sik responds calmly, saying that Go-to-rim is so amazing that men like Ji-hyuk would obviously follow her all the way to the village. This only makes Ji-hyuk angrier. A farming competition begins between Ji-hyuk and Sang-sik easily outperforms him. Ji-hyuk finally admits defeat, but accidentally drops all the fruits. Go-to-rim immediately comes to help him, making Ji-hyuk feel better because he realizes she still cares deeply about him. Later, she applies a pain relief patch on his back and tells him that he doesn't need to prove anything, she loves him regardless. Hearing this, Ji-hyuk hugs her and says that this is exactly what he came there to hear. The next day, Ji-hyuk leaves for the company to prove Go-to-rim's innocence. She gives him all her project voice recordings to help with the investigation. Her mom even packs snacks for him, which makes him happy, especially knowing that between Sang-sik and him, Go-to-rim's mom has chosen him. Finally, Ji-hyuk, Mr. Gong, and Taeyong hold a major conference against Ji-hyuk. Many people are present, and they are ready to eliminate both Ji-hyuk and Mr. Gong from the company. But at that exact moment, Ji-hyuk enters the conference hall, fully prepared to prove himself and reveal the truth. In the flashback, Ji-hyuk listening to the voice recordings that Go-to-rim had given him. In those recordings, he can clearly hear himself talking about proposing to her after the project. But while listening closely, he suddenly notices something unusual, someone else's movement in the background of the recording. That night, Go-to-rim had left her phone on the desk and walked away, and Ji-hyuk had also left the office after recording his message. The very next day was when the data transfer scandal came to light, and this detail immediately makes Ji-hyuk suspicious. Meanwhile, Taeyong is seen talking to a man named David. He is preparing to play his final move at the conference the next day, determined to take over the Natural BB company completely. When the conference begins, all the company's shareholders and business partners arrive, ready to cast their votes to officially appoint Ji-hyuk as vice president. Just before the voting starts, Ji-hyuk suddenly walks in with a presentation. In front of everyone, she exposes Ji-hyuk, Go-to-rim, and even her own father. She claims that Ji-hyuk, who was the team leader, was having an affair with Go-to-rim, and that Go-to-rim transferred confidential company data to another company. She also reveals that Go-to-rim joined the company by lying, calling her a fraud. Not stopping there, Ji-hyuk shocks everyone even more by accusing her father, Mr. Gong, of abusing his wife and sending her to the hospital. Hearing all this, Mr. Gong cannot bear it anymore and walks out of the conference hall. Ji-hyuk successfully convinces the shareholders to vote for removing both Ji-hyuk and Mr. Gong from the company. Just then, Ji-hyuk enters the conference room. He plays an audio recording in front of everyone. In the recording, Ji-hyuk's manager can be heard telling her that he transferred all the company data using Go-to-rim's email account. It becomes clear that this recording was captured on the same night when Ji-hyuk and Go-to-rim had left their phones behind. Ji-hyuk is left speechless. Ji-hyuk then exposes the entire truth, how Ji-hyuk and Taeyong were involved in all these crimes together. He also reveals that the fire incident at the exhibition was planned and executed by Ji-hyuk and Taeyong themselves. They were the real criminals. Ji-hyuk has already filed a police case against them, leaving them with no chance to take over Natural BB. Still, Taeyong stands up and argues that even if everything is revealed, Ji-hyuk and Mr. Gong still cannot manage the company. Ji-hyuk calmly presents his solution. He introduces a new director for the company, his mother, Ms. Gong. Ms. Gong then exposes her husband in front of everyone, revealing how Mr. Gong used her shares for his personal interests and even tried to transfer her shares to himself by taking advantage of her illness. With all the truth now revealed, Ji-hyuk announces that the voting held that day will be considered invalid. In this way, he completely destroys Ji-hai and Taeyong's plan. After leaving the conference, Taeyong is slapped hard by his father, who angrily tells him that this is exactly why Taeyong always loses to Ji-hyuk. Feeling deeply humiliated, Taeyong follows Ji-hyuk in his car. Ji-hyuk steps out of his car to buy flowers for Go-rim. He calls her and happily tells her that everything is finally over and that he is coming to see her. At that exact moment, Taeyong intentionally crashes his car into Ji-hyuk. Ji-hai witnesses the entire accident from her own car. Ji-hyuk is rushed to the hospital, and Go-rim arrives there immediately. Ji-hyuk's mother is already present. Meanwhile, during the police investigation, Ji-hai admits that Taeyong intentionally hit Ji-hyuk, and Taeyong is arrested. At the same time, Ms. Gong visits Mr. Gong with divorce papers and tells him clearly that Ji-hyuk is in the hospital because of him, because Mr. Gong only ever cared about his reputation and the company. Ji-hyuk remains unconscious, and Go-rim takes responsibility for staying by his side and caring for him. 1 month passes, and Ji-hyuk still hasn't woken up. Go-rim becomes emotional, holds his hand, and reminds him that he promised never to leave her alone. She asks him why he is leaving her now and why he isn't waking up. At that moment, Ji-hyuk suddenly regains consciousness. But as soon as he opens his eyes, he asks Go-rim who she is. He then talks about going to Jeju Island for a business meeting. The doctor immediately realizes that Ji-hyuk has suffered memory loss. He explains to Go-rim and Ji-hyuk's mother that due to trauma, Ji-hyuk has forgotten everything that happened after his Jeju Island trip. His memory may return slowly, or may never return at all. What he needs is stimulation. Go-rim desperately tries to help by showing him their photos together, hoping it will trigger his memory. But Ji-hyuk remembers nothing. Instead, he starts suspecting that his father might have sent Go-rim to trick him. Feeling helpless, Go-rim shares everything with her team members. They come up with a plan to recreate the Jeju Island incidents. Go-eun pretends to be pregnant, Nansuk and Ms. Jean appear with a wheelchair, and Go-eun deliberately drops oranges on the ground. Go-rim helps her pick them up, just like she did in Jeju. Ji-hyuk begins to feel a slight sense of familiarity, but he ignores it and walks away, refusing to think further. Next, they recreate the loan shark incident, where Go-rim once hid with Ji-hyuk inside a cupboard. But even this fails to bring back his memories. Ji-hyuk grows irritated. He sits down with Go-rim and tells her honestly that he understands he owes her an apology for whatever happened between them. But he can't stay with her anymore. He has returned to his old life, a life where he doesn't believe in love and only wants to live practically. Hearing this, Go-rim realizes that she may have been forcing him too much. She decides that if Ji-hyuk is happier living his old life, she shouldn't trouble him anymore. Quietly, she walks away. Elsewhere, Ji-hai is seen leaving her father's house as well. Mr. Gong asks her why she did all this when he loved her so much and always kept her close. Ji-hai replies that this was exactly his problem. After her mother's death, he kept Ji-hai with him only to look like a hero in front of others. If he truly loved them, he should never have abandoned her mother in the first place. That abandonment led to her mother's death. She tells him that because of his selfish nature, he has now lost everything. His son, his wife, and now even his daughter. Neither Ji-hyuk nor his mother is with him anymore, and Ji-hai is leaving too. The next day, Ms. Gong goes to the company, where she learns that Mr. Gong has already surrendered himself. He has also signed the divorce agreement and publicly apologized to Ms. Gong. It becomes clear that he is finally feeling genuine regret for everything he has done. At the same time, Taeyong is shown inside prison, where he ends up sharing the cell with loan sharks. When Taeyong tries to vent his anger on them and repeatedly brags about his rich family background, all of them gang up on him and teach him a harsh lesson, making him realize that his status means nothing there. On the other side, Ha-young meets her mother and prepares to leave for the airport. She does not tell Kim Se-in that she is leaving forever. However, while she is on the way, she receives a call from Kim Se-in. He is actually out of town and has no idea where June is, because June has gone missing. Worried, Kim Se-in asks Ha-young to help find June. Without hesitation, Ha-young gives up her flight and goes searching for him. She eventually finds June inside a park. It turns out that while playing hide and seek, he fell asleep there. As soon as he sees Ha-young, he starts crying loudly. Ha-young comforts him, stays with him the entire day, and later sleeps beside him at night. When Kim Seon finally returns home and sees this, he feels deeply relieved. He also notices an injury on Ha-young's foot, caused by excessive walking, and gently applies medicine to it. At that moment, Ha-young wakes up, and Kim Seon sincerely thanks her for truly caring about both him and June. Meanwhile, Ji Hyuk is discharged from the hospital. Jaeyoung-min tells him that during the entire month Ji Hyuk was unconscious. The only person who stayed by his side day and night was Go Do-rim, taking care of him without leaving even once. He tells Ji Hyuk that at the very least he should thank her. But Ji Hyuk does not do even that and simply returns home. He tries to live his life the way he used to, but deep inside, he feels an unexplainable emptiness. Something feels missing in his house, and something feels incomplete in his life. Yet, he cannot understand that what he is truly missing is Go Do-rim and his love for her. On the other hand, Go Do-rim and her mother sell their house. Only afterward do they discover that the buyer is actually Ji Hyuk's mother. Ms. Gong then gives the house back to Go Do-rim, explaining that during her most difficult time, it was Go Do-rim and her family who helped her. She wants to repay that kindness. Ms. Gong also advises Go Do-rim to start her own company and becomes her very first investor. Because of this support, Go Do-rim launches her own baby product brand. Everything starts going well, yet despite her success, Go Do-rim still feels something missing in her life. That missing piece is Ji Hyuk. Even while smiling, she is not as happy as she used to be when she was with him. 1 year passes after starting her company, and it is performing very well. Then one day, Go Do-rim hears from some employees about her sister, Dejong. She learns that Dejong is in Jeju Island. After confirming this, Go Do-rim decides to go there to meet her. While packing her clothes, she also keeps the dress Ji Hyuk gifted her during their time in Jeju Island. After reaching Jeju Island, Go Do-rim starts searching everywhere for Dejong. She learns from a girl that Dejong is off today and works part-time as a waitress at a nearby hotel. Go Do-rim goes to that hotel to find her, but the guards refuse to let her enter because she has no invitation and her clothes are not appropriate. So Go Do-rim changes into the very dress Ji Hyuk once gave her and enters the hotel. Coincidentally, this is the same hotel where she shared her first kiss with Ji Hyuk. As she walks inside, she accidentally bumps into someone. That person turns out to be Ji Hyuk. Ji Hyuk is clearly unhappy to see her and immediately assumes that she is following him again. Go Do-rim calmly explains that she is only there to find her sister and promises she will not disturb him at all. She then turns around to leave, but suddenly someone pushes her by mistake, and she falls straight into Ji Hyuk's arms. Once again, the same dynamite kiss happens between them. And with that kiss, all of Ji Hyuk's memories come rushing back. He remembers how he met Go Do-rim, and all the situations where they supported and protected each other. Overwhelmed, he tells Go Do-rim that he wants to kiss her again. Hearing this, both of them tightly hug each other. A few days later, Ji Hyuk and Go Do-rim move in together. Ji Hyuk also joins Go Do-rim's company, and the two of them begin spending happy days together. Soon after, Ji Hyuk proposes to Go Do-rim, and she happily says yes. Then, the story jumps several years ahead. Kim Seon is seen standing at his photography exhibition, looking at Go Do-rim's photograph. A woman approaches him and asks who she is. Kim Seon replies that she is his friend. The woman then notices a photo of Ha-young and asks about her. Kim Seon is about to say that she is also just a friend, but before he can finish, Ha-young herself appears and confidently says that she is currently his friend, but might soon become his girlfriend. This shows that Ha-young has not given up. Kim Seon and Ha-young look at each other and smile. Finally, Ji Hyuk and Go Do-rim are shown heading to their company, where Go Do-rim is now the CEO. They receive a new project and cheer together with excitement. It is also revealed that Jaeyoung-min and Go-eun have gotten married, and Go-eun is pregnant. In the final scene of the drama, Ji Hyuk and Go Do-rim are watching their children dance. Go Do-rim gently tells Ji Hyuk that they need to set a good example for their kids, so they can grow up to be like them. Ji Hyuk smiles and says that everything started because of a single kiss. If that dynamite kiss had never happened, they might still be living boring, separate lives today. In the end, it was one dynamite kiss that completely changed their lives. As they share that same dynamite kiss once again, the drama comes to a beautiful end. I hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and I will see you with a new story.